was a pickup truck. I was cruising the town and the first girl I seen, yeah, baby, was Bobby Joe Gentry, the homecoming queen.
Hey guys, it's Whiskey Talkin. I'm Ryan Robinette, one of your hosts. I'm a singer, songwriter, artist, producer, entrepreneur, podcast host.
And I'm Caleb Graham. If you've been here before, you know what I do. If you haven't, I'm a photographer, videographer, a little bit of everything, podcast host, DoorDash driver back in my prime. And today with us, we've got a very special guest. I know we're going to have a nice long conversation today.
Big Vinny Hickerson.
Yeah, and the crowd goes mild.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Man, I'm just excited to be here. I've been knowing Ryan for a long time and been buddies for a long time. It's been awesome to watch his career flourish and do what he's done. I mean, he's got to watch me have some wins. I've watched him have some wins. We've both watched each other have some losses. Man, I was blessed to be signed by Toby Keith when I was 22, tour with him for 4 or 5 years, and have a few songs on radio. And
I'm already going to stop you, because this is one of the things I connected with Vinny about right away, too. Growing up in southeastern Ohio, we had Jamboree in the Hills, and it was a huge country concert. I mean, legendary. People come from everywhere. And I mean, it was always in our face there. And when we were driving around, it was about the same time I was probably like 14 to 18, high school age, when Rockin' the Beer Gut came out. And I just remember, like, we would just jam to that song over and over at the lake, everything cranked up. And I was like, holy crap, this is Vinny. This is like the trailer choir right here.
Yeah. Hey, what's funny is that song in Ohio was huge for us because my partner in trailer choir, you have to verify a partner when you say it nowadays. If I was just saying my partner, people were like, oh, wait, he's there. But anyways, my music partner in trailer choir, he was from, what's it called, Ashtabula, Ohio.
Okay.
So we always did real well all up through Ohio. And,
I actually didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, he's Lake Erie, Lake Effect, baby. That's what he talks about all the time. So it was cool. We got to do a lot of those big shows in Ohio because of his ties there and things like that. And
Ohio shows up to shows.
Oh, they show up. Yeah. I mean, it got country concerts, Fort Laramie, Ohio.
Yep.
That one was in Gallipolis, Ohio, and it was right on the border of West Virginia.
Fest. Now they have so many.
Yeah, I don't know what they do now, but probably got bought out, I'm sure, by somebody huge. But man, that show, I'll never forget that show because we weren't really supposed to play on the Jamboree in the Hill show. And what had happened was we were there with Toby was the headliner that night, and we were just kind of along for the ride. And my buddy Stephen Cochran was playing. Now, we had written his single Friday Night Fireside. Me and Butter was co-writers on that song. And so it was starting to pop at radios in the top 50 at the time or whatever. And back then that was a big deal to get to get anything on radio. But anyways, it was starting to pop, and we were there. So he said, man, come out and do this with me, and we'll play Rockin' the Beer Gut with y'all. So we actually got to feature that with him. Well, that day, I'll never forget, I used to do this backflip on the stage where I would fall onto my butt and then roll into a handstand and kind of flip backwards, which most people have never seen a 500-pound man do that.
Yeah, what you do on a stage, I can't do, and I would probably hurt myself. Yeah.
I mean, I hurt myself every night. People were like, does it hurt? I'm like, yeah, it hurts.
Yeah.
You think you jumping in the air? I mean, even now at 340 pounds, I mean, back then I was over 500, but
he's like,
but either way, I roll up into this handstand, and there was a big, cable going across, because they were having to run all that power. Well, I didn't see the cable. So when I fell back, my back hits that cable, and it hurt, and I went to go up into my handstand, and when I got up, I got all the way up to where my feet were up, but I lost my momentum because that cord slowed me down. And I got to the top, and I was kind of stuck, then I just crumbled the side, kind of sideways. My neck went down, and I hit the ground. Of course, people were like, I heard like the reverse energy, like,
people were like, get the stretcher.
They thought it was gonna be, and then I jumped up. I'm like, yeah. And there was like, and Jamboree in the Hills went wild then.
They're like, so he's indestructible.
Yeah, it was great. And then, like I said, obviously, that day I remember Jason Michael Carroll played.
I love Jason.
I believe it was Charlie Daniels and then Toby.
Yeah, man.
So it was a wild show.
So we had talked about it on one of the other podcasts because Matt Van Falsen had actually played. He was a Ohio boy. He had played like a long time ago when he was doing the country Colgate thing. But yeah, Jamboree in the Hills is gone about a decade ago, I would say, before I ever got to play it. I was like just starting to break to where I was
I
getting
know,
those
and it
types
went away.
of
I don't know what
shows.
happened.
Yeah.
I don't know how that show went. It was like 100,000 people would show up for that show.
Live Nation had bought it out, and the first year they tried to change things because it was always BYOB.
Right.
And they had the redneck run that started where like people would build coolers that were like carts.
And once you got up there, that was your spot for as long as you stayed there.
Kept it, yeah. And they changed all that. They didn't do the redneck run. They wouldn't allow it. They didn't allow BYOB. Like they had to have the concession stand, $12, $15 beers.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. I mean, people.
So they killed it.
I think people,
that was
obviously
only
people
year
want
they had it. And
people want to come see music, They want to, but they also realize, man, they got a budget they got to follow. It's like just because they want to go don't always mean that they can. Mm-hmm. And so when you take away something like that, that they were used to, it changes. I think Southwest is doing that right now. Southwest is in the process of changing all their stuff to where now musicians are going to have to pay to, put their guitars underneath the thing, like $50 a pop. They're making it to where you got to check your bags, all this. Like the one thing that set Southwest apart was that, the fact that you got 2 bags and that you could fly your guitar and not just guitars, but anybody wanted to carry a carry-on, and you got to pick your own seat. They're going to get rid of all that. Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, people.
Well, and they're looking at it. I don't know how serious they are about it, but they want to put those like stand-up seats in. Have you seen those?
Stand-up seats?
Yeah. It sounds counterintuitive. I know, but it's like you like half rest on it, like just a little bit. But you're like basically like it's like a stool.
Yeah, they make them. They make them for hiking and stuff too. It's actually like a hiking stick that like it folds out and it becomes like a little like Y thing that you can like sit on, just to like de-weight your feet.
Sounds awful. Imagine you're flying all the way to Vegas or California and you're like 4 hours, sit on this little stick. Now some people are going to enjoy it. I mean, some people that like it. Some people are okay with that, but not me.
They're like, some people are like, how much? I'll pay twice.
Yeah. Does it vibrate?
Is it extra for the stick seats?
Yeah. Can I have an extender? That's a whole different thing for an extender now. Anyway, back to the podcast.
But not to date the podcast date, because, it's coming out probably in July. But CMA was this last weekend. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ton of fun. I mean, I was out every night. Ryan didn't get to go much as you.
Yeah, I had my nephews here,
and was the responsible thing to do.
Yeah, for the first time, I think they saved me. It was actually nice having a good excuse not to
hangover
be down
for
there.
an entire CMA fest. That's great.
Yeah, so
first time since I've been here.
Anything fun this last CMA week?
I did. For the first time. I mean, I always have a song coming out, at least 1 or 2 every year, but this time I had an agenda with my song with Walmart Drip to go out there and make sure I did as many interviews as possible. And, I did some autograph signings. I'm always surprised because, like, I did the Nashville Universe autograph signing. And, of course, you're always worried nobody's going to show up. There was probably 150 people in line waiting. They had pictures of me from 2008. I got my picture of you at such and such amphitheater when you were with Toby. And it just always blows my mind that people still remember that, and they looked up and took the time to see that I was going to be at that booth at that time. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I'm just always so thankful for that because, it's like you can get hard on yourself in this business. You can be like, do I really matter anymore? Yeah. Then you have a week like CMA Fest, and you're like, man, there's people out there that still care about your music, your journey, your walk in life, your family, all that kind of stuff, and they want to know about it. And it gives you more incentive to want to do your social media content.
Yeah, I was going to bring up that. I think that's a great point too because, again, you think that because your socials aren't like insanely huge and stuff that, again, how are people going to know? But it's really cool to be able to that is the real life version of that social media. It's like you're finding all the people that they don't really care about social media, but they remember you and they love the music. Yeah.
Like we just had MySpace when I started. When Trailer Choir started, we had MySpace. I love MySpace because it was so interactive. You had your little widget on your page that had your music. Even if I was a songwriter, I could even load in one of my songs in there as a songwriter.
Me and Tom are like this.
I know. I love Tom. Dang it, Tom. You let us down by taking the money from old Zuckerberg.
Do you read? I read this thing. It was some random, I think it was a New York Times, little blurb about Tom. And that after he sold it, he basically started traveling the world as a photographer, and that's all he does.
That's great.
He got into photography and he just takes landscape, everything,
whatever he wants.
Yep,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's probably photographed all of the world.
Didn't Timberlake buy stock in it? didn't Timberlake buy a bunch of stock in, or they bought?
I'm not sure what happened when he sold it, because when he sold it, they did it just to crush it, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, they kept it going for a little while.
It's
I feel like
still
it came back around. Is it
It's
still around?
there, but
it still exists.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But
Well, I can tell you
better
that
get on there and clean some stuff up.
my profile is no longer there because Trailer Choir had over 100,000 friends. Real,
I think
it was
I had
real.
like 80,000.
You couldn't fake it back then. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's been interesting for me to find out. Just as an older guy that's, trying to keep up with the content times and all that kind of thing, is seeing sometimes like, man, that person's got 1 million followers, and then like 1 million followers, but then I go check the Spotify and it's like, oh, there's only like 2,000 monthly listeners. I'm like, how are they going to not get at least 10% of those million to go and like do it? And then you realize like, oh, okay. I didn't realize there was loopholes and there was ways to get followers that weren't real followers and all that other kind of stuff. So for me, obviously, once you know that's there, you could take that route if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I feel
but
like
what's the point? Because it doesn't actually help you grow any.
That's the obvious thing. Like, the obvious point is, what is the point? Like, it doesn't, people are sheep and they see numbers and they're quicker to go to something. I
could see the contrast of like, oh, dude, that guy's got 1 million. I mean, I would think that as just a guy looking in that didn't know any better. It's like, man, they got 1 million followers. They must be doing something. I need to find out more about it. And I won't say the artist, but there was an artist that they did that with. A buddy of mine did that with. Before that was a thing, he did it on Facebook, because back in the day you could post these Facebook videos and there was ways to make the numbers look bigger. Well, if somebody had 500,000 views back then on a Facebook video, people were like, oh my gosh, what am I missing? Mm-hmm. And so they took this artist, and he called me before he did. He goes, I want to make this person kind of the fake it till you make it kind of thing. I'm going to blow this person up and make everybody believe that they're getting millions of, hundreds of thousands of millions of views. And it's going to, in turn, make them actually go take the time to watch it. And it worked.
I believe I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, he's huge.
Both
now,
people.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more than one, but the one main one is.
And the person who was doing it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyways, it worked out, and it's turned his career into a massive career.
And he's also super talented. So that,
he's talented
away
too.
From that.
We're not taking away from that, but it's just like people, they want to see that other people like it first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like they used to say, like when you're single, it's hard for you to find somebody. Yep. But as soon as you find somebody, and people's like, oh well, there must be value in that person. Yeah. So then all of a sudden more people want you, and then when you get single again, they're like, oh, it just timing didn't work out right. Yeah. I feel like that's me with the record labels. Like, oh, Vinny, man, we love you so much.
Me and Brett Shiroki wrote this song that I'll probably put out like this year too, called "Because I Don't." And it's the same exact thing. Yeah. It's like you only do because I don't.
Yeah, that's right. But like I said, I mean, it's just interesting, and I think people get mad about it. For me, I'm just like, I just want to figure it out. It just makes me think, man, I want to take this challenge. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the right things to spend money on? Because I think you still have to spend money. Just like people will be like, I don't want to spend money on Facebook or Instagram promotions or this or that. I'm like, well, I mean, we did radio tours, and you spent $10,000 for one day to go and play for free. Yep. At a radio station,
but
that's what you did. I mean, you went and you did that. You took them out to dinner. You might play a free show for their listeners that day or that night at a local bar, and maybe they charged the bar, and maybe the bar gave them a kickback. I don't know what happened. Yeah. But I'm saying you watched that stuff happen, but you were spending money.
I'm not sure of the legalities.
Yeah.
But
well, you were paying for promotion, but you know what? You were honored, that you had a chance still. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, as an independent artist, you really have the best time of your life as an independent artist right now.
There's been no better time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's completely level, because it's not. There's playlists that are owned, and
we talked about that, like Topsify and all those. Yeah. Those are seemingly unbiased playlists that are owned by record labels. But they can be like major curators on Apple, on everything.
Topsify, you even see it's like,
Digster,
hey, you got on the whatever new playlist that's popping right now, but you're song number 85.
Yeah.
So it's like the first 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30
they're not
songs.
on shuffle, people ain't getting there.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, they start off with that new one, and it's the one that's going to make people see the playlist and be like, oh, I want to listen to that, somebody that's popping or whatever. So, you're just trying to figure out the ways to do it. I mean, I think you got to make your own playlist. I think you got to get with other friends that, that have playlists and stuff like that. Try to work together. I honestly think it's the best time for an independent artist, because if you work with your friends and you work together and you cross-pollinate and do all this stuff, I truly believe you can build a great following. And it's not saying that you're going to become Toby Keith or Luke Bryan or Morgan Wallen or Taylor Swift, but it's saying you can create a good living for yourself, that you own the master's own, that if you could go out there and create a million monthly listeners, if you could have a million monthly listeners listening to 2 or 3 songs a piece, that's a good life.
And as an independent artist, if you actually had a million monthly listeners, you were driving that type of streams, like you would be
15, 20
you would be
grand
bringing
a month.
home, owning your masters. You'd be bringing home what label artists probably in their first 5 years are making.
Oh yeah,
anyways.
absolutely, yeah, because you're not splitting it.
And if they're lucky, if they break
Yeah.
the 5 years and they get to start actually being superstars that make money. But like as an independent artist, you could be making more than label artists that are 3-4 years into their deal. Like,
oh yeah, I mean we know some of them right now that don't have deals that are making $75,000 to $100,000 a month streaming.
Label artists,
Just
even
on
label
streaming.
artists that are successful.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've got buddies that have had multiple, at least 1 or 2 number ones, and they're trying to figure out how they're paying the bills next month. Because, like I said, they don't have the right now consistent money. They can still go make decent money on the road, but the shows have gotten a little fewer and further between and stuff like that. And I think there's been a lower amount of shows the last few years, and I think some of the headliners are taking way more money than they ever used to take. I think the max was about $1 million, and now I mean some of the big headliners are getting $2-3 million a night, and it just leaves
in country, in country.
But and as an opening artist, you're just hoping to get enough to make sure that you pay for your band and your travel and your stuff like that.
A roof over your head. And,
and so it's difficult, but I still think that if you can grow your online following, if you can grow your streaming numbers, you can be making so much money that you don't even have to leave the house. And that wasn't like that before. If you didn't have a number one at radio, you need to be on the road touring, selling merchandise, working 24/7.
And now writers, even though, like, if you're not the artist, again, you're getting none of the master. You're just getting the mechanicals.
Well, I think that's changing.
So like a writer with a number one, it is. But like again, 20 years ago, a writer with a number one from a major artist
was set.
Yeah. I mean, they could buy a house, they could be set. Now it's like,
well, and they had mailbox money coming in forever.
Yeah,
I mean, Toby Keith wrote "Should Have Been a Cowboy" by
because
himself.
the mechanical royalty.
I mean, he's still making
copy.
probably $1 million a year. I mean, he's passed away, but his legacy, his kids, his wherever his stuff lies, is probably still making over $1 million a month.
His horses and stuff too, like his racehorse. Like he was a very smart businessman.
Oh, yeah. If people really knew, I mean, like I know.
Who am I telling you?
I know a lot. No, but you're talking.
I mean, outside looking in,
he was so smart. He was so smart with his money. He was smart with his businesses, his relationships, the way he handled everything. I mean, I was out with this dude for 4 years. He was a great family man. Didn't cheat on his wife. Took care of business. He was.
I heard he always put his people first too.
Put his people first. Everybody that was at the amphitheater, from the local guy that was working on rigging to Toby, ate the same dinner. We ate the same breakfast. He had a buffet for everybody, and every single meal had breakfast was breakfast, but lunch and dinner had a chicken, or had a bird, a fish, and a steak of some sort.
Yeah.
And you could pick out what you want. It had unlimited amount of cookies. There was a place called High Tops. They were out of Baltimore that would travel with him, had their own trailer.
Just take a wedding buffet for everyone.
Dude, it was great. I mean, listen, I'll never forget that first day. We was in Birmingham, Alabama. We had just signed the record deal on Tuesday. This was Thursday. We got there to Birmingham, Alabama. It was Friday. We left on Thursday night. Got there at the amphitheater that night. We set up the next morning, all that stuff, and go out there. And get to the buffet, and I'm like, dude, breakfast is great. I was like, what do I pay for this? He's like, no, you get to eat whatever you want. And I was 500 pounds back then, so I was pumped up. But I got my little plate.
He was like, close them down, guys.
Yeah. Shut it down. But no, I got my big old plate of food, and I saw Toby was sitting there. And of course, Miranda Lambert was on that tour. So Miranda, they were kind of sitting over at the table, and I thought, well,
what tour is this?
It was Toby, the Big Dog Daddy tour with Toby Keith, and Miranda was direct support.
What year roughly?
2007.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. And so I get my plate and I go sit down right beside Toby and Miranda. And Toby, first thing he said, golly, you going to eat all that? I was like, well, I was probably going to go back for seconds.
You're like, yeah, all that.
Yeah. I was really just trying to hang out with Miranda. I mean, Toby thought it was for him, but but she had Blake back then, so she wasn't even looking at me. But anyways, it's fine. But no, it was just, man, the experience I got on that, the way I learned, at first I got out there, I didn't know we weren't getting paid any money, but they were paying for the bus, paying for the food, paying for the band. Like, they were putting in probably $5,000 a day or whatever to keep us out there. You know?
And that's something that doesn't happen very often either. It's normal for you to not make money.
Yeah.
For
But you
them
only
to
got to pay
take
to
care
be there.
of you, the way.
But we were on
did.
Toby's label. That's why
Yeah.
we got that. I'm sure,
Yeah.
like, not Miranda because she was direct support, but if they would have been an opener out there that was from a different label or a different thing, they would have been paying to be there.
Direct support, even though that's what I think people don't understand. Again, how little we make and how much we do things for exposure and purpose.
Oh, yeah.
How the system is built for that, where they think that you're playing, okay, you played with Toby Keith in an amphitheater or a stadium.
You're
and
rich.
It's like,
Oh, my
You're
hometown. My hometown thought I was the richest dude in the world.
I got free
CMT?
beer for that.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well, what's funny is, that day I was sitting there talking to Toby. I was like, so what do we get paid? He goes, you don't get paid anything. You get paid in exposure. And I was like, exposure. I said, I wonder if Nashville Electric Services accepts some exposure. Yeah.
They just whip it out.
But I'm going to let you know something that I did call and try to get my light bill extended. And they said, we're sorry, we do not accept Toby Keith exposure as your form of payment. So then I had to pay real dollars and real cents.
And he's like, well, can't help you there.
Yeah. But, Toby told us that day, I never forget him saying, he's like, man, he goes, you're going to have a little, hit come out on radio. You're going to be making more money than you ever made. And at one point after Beer Go to come out, we were making 25, 30 grand a night and touring and playing. And there was some places we'd sell 1,000, 1,500 tickets, and other places we wouldn't sell 200, And it was weird. It was always weird because you didn't know if it was your fault or if the person didn't promote the right way or if it was just like, hey, you're just not that big in that area yet.
Yeah.
Because there were so many times we'd show up and I'm like, man, I don't know if anybody's gonna be here. And we'd have, we showed up in.
I think it normally lands most of the time in those situations. It lands on the venues and everything not letting people know.
A lot of times, I think there's like, well, it's on their Facebook. I'm like, but that don't get to nobody. The algorithm, especially now, the algorithms.
Expect you to bring the people,
back then, it
and
worked a
people
lot
just
better
know.
because, like on MySpace, if I posted, every single person that followed my feed saw that, had the ability to see that message. It went across their feed at some point.
Yeah.
So now, if they weren't following 10,000 people, they're going to see it.
I remember even Instagram started doing that, and I thought like my engagement stuff went up.
Yeah.
It'd be like every time you log on, it would give you the most recent. And then anything that you've missed from stuff that you've interacted with in the past, like over the next few days when you log on, it'll start mixing in any of those. And you'll see a post that was like 3 days old in your feed.
Oh, I see it happening now.
Yeah, I like
people,
that.
People will be messaging me, hey, dude, I just heard this Walmart
I don't
drip
live
song.
on there.
Like, how come you haven't been promoting it? I'm like bro, I put out stuff every day. But now that and we're running some ads. We're seeing we've seen enough to know that if people hear it, they love it.
It's repetition.
It's going with it. So we're starting to run the ads. So now people are starting to get it put in their feeds and stuff like that. We're running ads on Meta. We're running ads on Google and YouTube and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. And we're just letting it's got to be seen.
You know that this podcast will probably blow it up.
That's what I figured. That's the reason. That's the reason I came today.
I mean, we have like 600 subscribers already.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, listen, that's a light years beyond where most podcasts get. It really is.
Yeah.
Well,
Most people don't get past the third episode, I think it is.
No, yeah. And
They get the first one and they're like, and they talk for 2 hours in the first episode. I can't believe it was so easy. And then the second one's like 45 minutes to an hour. And then the third one, they're down to like 30 minutes. And they're like, okay, well, what are we talking about now? And by the fourth one, it's like, oh yeah, we ain't got enough content to do this.
Yeah, they never had a Vinny because
obviously. Listen, I can talk by myself.
I'm like, we're 6 hours in already.
Yeah. Hey, we did our podcast. It was called the Refined Life Podcast. A buddy of mine owned a mortgage company called Refined Life Mortgage. He said, would y'all do this podcast? So me and Jared Blake went on the podcast, which was great.
Jared Blake?
Yeah, Jared. Jared. Don't drop that mic. Don't you drop it.
Why am I blanking?
Jared was on The Voice, first season of The Voice. Bald-headed country singer, kind of rocking country.
Yeah.
Super good dude, Me and him toured together for years and years, and of course now he's got a big house flipping company and all that. But what you getting there? Little Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
Is that from the Ohio State collection there with the little melted top there?
Yeah, we're just trying to get our sponsorship. That's all.
Yeah, come on, sponsorships. Anyway, I don't remember where I was going with it, but
Jared Blake and
yeah.
you guys were out.
Oh no, we started our podcast with so at first we were just on the episode, and then he said, "Man," he goes, "that episode went so great." He's like, "And all my other episodes ain't really done nothing. Would y'all be willing to come back and do another one?" And I said, "Sure." He goes, "Would y'all want to just come on and do it with me full time?" And I was like, "I guess." I was like, so we started doing it because people kept asking me, "Why'd you call it Refined Life Podcast? You're not really a refined kind of person." I said, "Well,
You're like sarcasm.
I said sometimes it's the Unrefined Life Podcast." But I just told him, I said, if we're going to do this, we can't just give it up after, 2 or 3 episodes. I was like, if I'm going to spend time on it. So we committed to 52 episodes. And honestly, we got all 52. And the last few were a struggle because we did one every single week. But the place where we were doing our podcast at, the studio we were doing it at, got so full that they didn't have time slots that matched up with all 3 of our schedules. So it wasn't, people were like, "Why'd y'all quit doing the podcast?" I'm like, "Well, we haven't really quit because we loved it. And we had gotten to 1,000 subscribers and we were building, we were doing good with it. And we were starting to get where we could probably start going after endorsements and things like that. And, then we just didn't have anywhere to film it. But now, actually, Bradley and Nick Hyder are in the process of creating their own new big studio down in Cool Springs. And I think when it's all said and done, we'll have a spot there.
I was actually thinking about setting up a use space like that too, buying a building and and renting it out when we're not using it or whatever. Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to go try out that thing at Walmart. Have you seen that deal at Walmart, the Create It Studios or whatever?
I just heard that they were doing something like that.
Yeah, no, they just opened the first one here in Cool Springs.
Is that the same thing where they're doing the karaoke, where you can go and record
all that stuff? Yeah.
They used to have that stuff all
in the
over
malls
Nashville.
and things like that. Yeah. But they got that, but they also have a podcast studio in there, and then they have a place where you can go in and mix your song in Atmos.
That's genius.
It's really cool.
Atmos. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they need to do is just adopt Walmart Drip as their song.
Yep. You guys heard it here first.
Walmart Drip It.
And
drip it and grip it and rip it.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Walmart sponsorship.
Yeah.
So I guess what really got you started in music? What was the moment where you're like, this is what I want to do?
I actually don't know that. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought I was going to be in the NFL because I was a pretty good football player. I was a good center. I was big. I was even in high school. I was 370 pounds, and I was still only 6 foot tall.
Yeah, that's the size of an NFL center.
Yeah,
6
foot to 6 to 6'4". You want to be a little taller, but I thought I was going to go do that. I made a 13 on my ACT, so any kind of scholarship went out the window real quick.
So you got your name right.
Yeah, I did get my name right. I thought I was gonna go to MTSU and play. It was their first year Division I. Coach Andy McCullum come talk to me, check me out. My coach showed him I was 6'4". He got there, I was 6 foot, even with cleats on. And but he checked me out, and I was very strong and stuff. But I was so slow, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, my fastest.
I don't see that,
dude. Now listen,
so athletic.
I'm so athletic and quick, but in straight line speed. Like when they're measuring your 40, I was a 6'2", 6'3", 40.
Okay.
So now it's an NFL. It's a center. It's not like it's slow. And I weighed 370. So I mean, they were probably wanting to shave a good 40, 50 pounds off.
Yeah.
Keep me at about that 310,
probably
315.
Shave about a second off too.
Yeah, probably get me down to that 5'5",
which is about what they want.
Would have been fine.
Yep.
So it wasn't that I couldn't have done that. But then, like I said, again, I made a 13 on my ACT, so I was gonna have to red shirt. I gained a whole new respect for people that practiced and worked all that and did all that work and never got to play.
So intelligent.
It changed me.
Why 13 on the ACT? You're so intelligent.
Because I can't sit there in a room for 5 hours and take a test.
Again, and that's
even
one of
though
the parts with standardized testing.
They divide it out, man. I'm telling you, it's so hard for me to sit there and for me, I'm also severely dyslexic. So when I'm reading, to read and comprehend
any of that stuff,
I have to slow down so much. Yeah, this is
starting to care about
23 years ago.
Yeah.
I have to slow down so much when I read it
over
to
and
comprehend.
read it from the back.
Yeah. No. Look, if I read it, I can sit here. I can read every single thing on there. But if I was reading a paragraph, and it's like right now I'm getting my real estate license. You know what I mean? I've referred and given people so much money away.
Add it to the list.
That I didn't realize it. So I was sitting there. And I was like, as I'm reading these things, when I'm reading this paragraph, I go, little Susie sold her brother's house for $750,000. She had this much, and I have to go through this entire equation. And I'm like, shit, how much she sold? She sold $750,000, and then she had a 6% commission. Like for me to go back through them, it takes me time to do all that. I can do it. It just takes me more time. Whereas a lot of people could read it one time, understand all the stuff, and get it.
Yeah,
like
you're
for
just
me,
special, man.
And also when I read the numbers, I have to be really careful because I might read 760,000 to 670,000. I might just replace. I might just switch the two. And so, or even when I don't even realize it, like I might read it the right way, but when I go to type it in the calculator, I'll mess it up then. So I just got to be careful with it and take time. But you know what? To me, it's like I don't care. I'm gonna get it done. I haven't failed a single test yet, you know, on my practice exams, and I'm getting ready to go take this thing. But I had to take the time to go do it. But now, in there,
so from. You thought you were going to football.
Yeah. But I'm saying in that situation, when I'm sitting there taking that test all day, to me, it almost feels like there's not a reason. Whereas it's like, I know when I get this done, I'm going to have a license.
Correct.
You know, then it's like, when I get this done, I can go do more of this shit in college. You know?
Yeah.
And also, I didn't realize in college that you don't just get to go do what you want to do. You got to go take more of the things that you've already been learning forever. Like I don't want to be a math teacher. Why am I learning advanced calculations?
Now you got to get better math.
Yeah. Now you got to do more math. I'm like, I can add, subtract, multiply, and divide money. And so far in my life, that's really all I've had to use. But regardless, that led me to realizing that, man, I'm probably not going to go to the NFL. I realized the difference wasn't my strength, because I was as strong as most of those guys, still am. The difference was my athletic
Where did you go
speed.
to high school? Like, where'd you... Yeah.
Perry County High School, Perry County, Tennessee, about an hour and a half west of Nashville.
West? Like, towards... Like,
headed towards
Cookeville?
Memphis. No, headed towards
west.
Memphis.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, headed towards Memphis. We're right there, same exit Loretta Lynn's exit, Buffalo River.
Towards where your resort is,
Yeah, it's in that. That's my hometown. My hometown
Man,
is
I didn't know that. That's so cool. You
I
bought a resort
in my hometown. Yeah.
Come on.
And like I said, it's to me, I don't know if I would have wanted to do it anywhere else. Here's why. The mayor, my cousin. Sheriff, my cousin. I mean,
is this Hazard County?
I mean, it might, listen, that we did a whole thing on the scholarship. We're the real live Mayberry.
Yeah.
We still have one little stoplight. Now, actually, we got two now. The one doesn't really need to be there, but it's there. And they turn into caution lights after like 6:30.
Yeah.
And they, there's the courthouse square is still right there on the, in the top of the thing.
Am I pronouncing it? Is it Lobelville?
Lobelville is where the resort is at.
Yeah.
And then Linden is the county seat,
Okay.
But there's only one high school in the whole county. So a lot of times people will say, I graduated 55 people there. I graduated 52. I'm like, yeah, but we only had one high school in the whole county.
Was a high school?
Perry County High School. Yeah. It's the county high school.
They did that in the South, yeah.
Yeah, Perry County High School. I mean, to me, I love going to school there. It's a great place to live. If it was up to me,
How many people did you graduate with?
55.
Yeah.
And I was
size as my school.
I tell people, I was like, I was number 47 in my class. And they're like, oh, that's cool. I was like, that means you're pretty smart, 47. I'm like, yeah, we only had 55. And I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 of those probably shouldn't have graduated.
Just say graduate top 50.
Yeah, top 50 in my class. No, it was, I love that place. You know what's funny? Our valedictorian, because everybody's like, oh, that schools like that have a lower, they're not as smart or they don't teach you as well. The guy that was the valedictorian of our class went to MTSU, James Sheslakowski, which you knew he was going to be smart. I mean, his name is Sheslakowski. Yeah. Just to spell his name, he had to be smart. But he was a valedictorian of his class in college too. Huh. And I'm like, I mean, it's just, I think that you have when you have 500 people, you obviously have more chances of somebody being smart, or
the numbers
you have more chances of people doing better, or you have more chances of them doing worse. Could be the one. Just like with your football team, if you have 1A, we only had we didn't
200 kids to choose from.
We didn't even have 24, 25 people on our football team.
Yeah.
That and out of that, you got to think. I mean, everybody had to play that would have wanted to play in order to do that.
Both ways.
There was times when we didn't have enough to run an offense against the defense at practice. And that was just part of it, So now they've done good. Now they actually ended up going. We went to the playoffs every year when I was in school at football, and we didn't get football till my 8th grade year.
And then you left, and they just kind of fell apart.
They did for a little while. Now they actually had a class after mine. They had a kid that ended up playing in Germany, played quarterback in Germany. He won a couple of national titles in the Division II with University of North Alabama.
Oh, okay.
And man, I mean, they've had some good years. They went to the finals.
UNA's been good for a long time.
Yeah, UNA's good. Yeah, I mean, they're always good. They went to the finals and lost the state championship.
But is that where Sam went?
Do what?
Did Sam go to UNA?
He went to UNAB, University of he went to University of Birmingham, Alabama. University of Alabama, Birmingham. UAAB or whatever it is. But Sam was great, man. I think he made it on the Chiefs practice squad for a while. I think he was on the Chiefs practice squad for a while. But anyways, I just realized I was like, man, I said I have to, look at some of these other talents I had. My little brother had started teaching me how to play guitar.
So next you went to juggling, probably. Right?
I tried juggling, sword swallowing, fire breathing. I was
one of these is going to work.
Yeah, I was going to be in porn, but I was missing that one key element that every porn star needs, and it was.
Dude, I can see the cover, in the overalls and everything.
Yeah. No, it just didn't. I didn't have a good enough mustache, to be honest with you.
You didn't have the porn stash back then.
Other than that, I was good to go. But no, it just led me. It's like, okay, well, what other talents do I have? What else could I do? I mean, I was good at fast food, so I was working at Sonic Drive-In. Ran one of the top Sonic Drive-In.
You're good with people. So
I was good with people.
You probably made tons of tips.
I did actually car hop sometimes, but no, my biggest attribute is I just knew how to get the best out of the people that were working, because I always had a good attitude.
I was just trying to picture you rollerblading.
Oh,
around.
I did. I would skate. I would skate on Thursdays. I put on the Coney suit and skate around. I used to have skating trophies. This ain't no joke.
I would pay for videos of that.
I can't do it now. My ankles are too jacked up. But no, I mean, I started working at Sonic, and I said, you know what? I was gonna become a general manager pretty quick, because we ended up winning the Dr. Pepper games.
You had a 13 on your ACTs.
I made a 13 on my ACT.
Come on.
Hey, you know what's
You're
funny?
like, what more do I need for my resume?
You know what's funny is. That's not funny. Never mind.
No, we got to. We'll cut it if it's not really good.
No, it's just there's people that made almost perfect scores on their ACTs that have had to come to me and ask me to bail them out.
Yeah.
And I made a 13. So
I'm okay with you saying it's not funny, but I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying, I think
that's how little that actually
so many
means.
people look at how far did you go in your education in college or school.
And that's how they judge your intelligence.
Or how, what grades did you make? And honest to God, that stuff does help. I think being educated is a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. But if you're educated and your work ethic sucks, you still ain't gonna make no money.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that what we see when we see people that are very educated is we see discipline.
Yeah,
and that's something that people admire.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But if that's not your path, you have discipline in what you're doing,
I think there's people that are. I'm very intelligent when it comes to street smarts. I have a great sense of awareness of probably not a good idea to do that.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing has always been there for me. I grew up very hard. Grew up in a very hard situation with my stepdad. He beat the snot out of me and my brother every single day. I went through a lot of really hard stuff as a kid. So I learned what to watch out for. I mean, I can read people. I can kind of, if I'm at the store, I can tell which kids are probably.
How big was he?
My stepdad?
Yeah.
Oh, he was about 6'2".
I wouldn't draw back on you.
He was in Vietnam, and I was 10 years old, so.
So you were just a little smaller than you are now?
Now listen, by 10 years old, I was 200 pounds. Yeah. But I mean, there's just a difference in a man, especially. I mean, like I said, he fought in Vietnam, but
I don't know if that's
He
we'll leave it there.
I was able to forgive him, and I had a lot of resentment. What got me to 500 pounds was I had all this resentment towards him and my mom, more my mom than anything, because I felt like she's supposed to protect me.
Yeah, man.
But you go back and you look, and what you have to do in order to give forgiveness is you got to put yourself in their shoes. What did they go through? Who were they? And that's hard to do because we live our lives in our body, in our shoes, in our eyes.
I do that a lot, and it doesn't mean that you have to.
Forget it. You're never going to forget it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
And you know what I mean?
People say that forgive and forget. It means that you have to forgive them enough that you're willing to give them another chance.
That's part
or
of
whatnot.
Finding peace too.
Yeah.
Is being able to understand at least maybe why it happened in the first place. Like that's where healing starts. Is like because if there's no purpose for it, it just like how do you heal from that?
Well, you know what helped me out when I was on Biggest Loser. The head doctor had come to me and said, "Hey, you're going to have to forgive your mom." And I'm like, "Why should I forgive her? Why should I forgive her for all the suicide letters I had to read?" And I watched my mom put a gun to her head and pull the trigger whenever I was 10 years old, And she didn't kill herself. She's still alive to this day. But she let my stepdad beat me profusely and saw it happen and still backed him before. And it was very hard for me to think, how do I forgive that? But then when I was sitting there, I said, "Why should I forgive her?" He goes, "Well, why should God forgive you?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, you sin, right? I said, yeah. He goes, why did Jesus die for? I said, our sins. He goes, well, then you might as well put those nails in his hands yourself. He's like, so why should God forgive you for putting his son on the cross? And I never really thought of it like that. And he said, if God can forgive you and send his own son to die on the cross for your sins, then who are you to not forgive your mom for the mistakes she made, or your stepdad for the mistakes he made?
Yeah. Again, the trauma, hurt people.
Yeah,
Same
100%.
thing, you know, and obviously whatever trauma he had, like, it never okays that. Like,
yeah.
but
well, you know what?
But understanding
he
that he
apologized.
came from a place where he was hurting so bad that
Yeah.
he wasn't in his
we
right
didn't know what
mind.
PTSD was, or PTS, whatever they, they leave off the D now, but
Forgiving someone really is for you.
yeah, no, 100%.
It has nothing to do with them.
I'd already lost like 150 pounds or so before that happened. But that day that I forgave my mom, when I was able to sit down with her and actually forgive her, like really forgive her, not just be like, yeah, I forgive you, but really forgive her. When I was able to do that, the weight of the world come off my shoulders. It changed everything for me. And it made me less resentful towards other stuff. It made me a better forgiver of other people. I mean, there's so many times you're going to get done wrong in this life. If you live long enough, I promise you somebody's going to break your heart. Somebody's going to break your trust.
Especially if you're one of the people trying to do right.
Yeah, if you're trying to do right. But even if you're trying to do right, you're probably going to be somebody that hurts somebody, even though you may not know it one day.
Yep.
You may hurt somebody's heart or hurt somebody's feelings and not know it. They may have gotten there. Now, it may not have been your fault, but somebody's going to think, man, did they ignore me? Did they do this or did they do that? It's going to happen. You know, I've had those situations. People are like, man, you never answered me. I'm like, I don't have any messages from you. And then I go in and I find there's a whole other box of messages on Instagram that is like
requested
or whatever. I was like, dude, I didn't even see it.
Yep.
I literally had a guy send me a message, a guy that I first started music with, and talking about how I had gotten too big for my britches and this and that. Now, he had lost his Facebook account, created a new one, and sent me this message. I didn't see it. It went to this hidden thing that's like unknown messages or whatever. And finally, one day, this thing had popped up, and I'm like, I couldn't get the little thing, the notification to go away. I was like, dude, how's it not going away? And I can't stand for there to be a notification. So I'm like one of those guys. I read every text, you know.
My OCD.
Now, my problem is I might read it while I'm in the middle of something, be like, I'll come back to that later and then forget. But anyways, I'll sit there and I'll go through and read it. It was like 5 different messages. One was like one date. It's like, hey, man, Big Vinny, you know, I got a new page here. But love to reconnect with you. And, of course, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I mean, I can reconnect. And I see the next message. Hey, man, not sure why you're not responding, but I'd love to reconnect with you. I'm like, and then I get to the next one. It's like, man, why are you being a dick?
Oh, dude, I've had those.
And by like the 4th or 5th one, it was like, you know what? You think you're so great. Your music sucks. You suck. I never liked you anyways. I'm like,
and what was the time frame?
It was like
that
it was like a 2-month span.
Okay, I've had it in like 3 days.
No, 3 days. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you're not like a 2-month span.
Oh yeah, too good for me. And I'm like, I didn't even see this. Like, I didn't see it until like
also,
2 weeks later.
but you don't know. I mean, I try to keep in mind, you don't know what they're going through.
Exactly. Dude, and I'm so like that. I'm like, you know, whatever they're mad about is not me. I'll leave comments when people like say hateful things, like, or like just stuff where I'm like, this is just misguided hate. Yeah. I'll just be like, I don't know what's going on in your life right now. I hope it gets better.
Yeah.
God bless you.
I've had to
and I'll just leave it.
I had to do that. My first time I had to do that after Biggest Loser.
All right. Let's stop real quick.
Okay.
So Trailer Choir.
Yes.
All right. You signed with Toby. He started the label for you guys, correct?
No, he had already started the label. We were like the 3rd or 4th act on there. There was a couple before us. There was a band called Flynnville Train. There was a girl named.
I do remember them.
There was one they had Bagpipes Crying. Rushlow Harris was on there. Lindsay, the one that was in the first movie with Toby, Broken Bridges or whatever. She was on there. There was another girl named Sarah Johns, I think, maybe.
Okay.
But he also, you got to remember, this was a sister label to Big Machine, because Toby owned 44% of Big Machine and Show Dog. They were both
at that time.
They were both Show Dog Universal. Yeah.
Yeah, Universal.
And it was Big Machine Universal. Okay. And it was both labels were owned by Toby at the time. 44% of it.
Big Machine was still under the Universal umbrella?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
They were both Toby's labels, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Big Machine and
I had no
Show
idea
Dog,
he had so much stock in Big Machine.
Oh, dude. I mean, he's the one that decided. I mean, you can go back and find the video of Taylor Swift saying, I couldn't believe that Toby Keith decided to sign me. You know, it was like, I was so honored, you know, it blew my mind.
And again, he gets almost no credit for that stuff.
But I mean, and you know, the thing with Taylor is Taylor was always sweet to me. And so I'll never take anything away from it. Anytime we ever spoke, I mean, even as she become a big mega star, I never forget, we did the CMT Awards in 2010, and we did a song called Shaking That Tailgate. And right afterwards, I literally walked back there and I saw her and she waved at me.
You did it live?
We did live, yeah. We were live on the CMT Awards.
2010?
2010. We got
All right, we're finding that video.
Yeah, we got to perform.
We finding that video.
Yeah, it was cool, man. I did the split. No, I did the splits and the booty shake on it.
Did you rip?
I didn't rip. I had them the right way.
Did you do the worm?
I didn't do the worm on that one. They actually asked me not.
They said don't do the worm.
They asked me not to because the way the stage was set up, it was very small, and so you played with the band that you played with. Our
lawyers have asked that.
Yeah, they've asked you not to tear down the stage. But as I get done, the first person I walked past, this is no joke, was Luke Wilson, and they were pushing a movie. There's something they had put out, and Luke Wilson literally looks at me and goes, "Now that was entertainment." And I was like, "Dude, it's freaking old school. That's Luke Wilson, you know."
Do it again, right to camera.
Yeah. So, dude, that was freaking cool. But anyways, so I ran into Luke Wilson. When I get on back there, whatever, I run into David Spade. They were doing Grown Ups. Now Luke Wilson wasn't in Grown Ups. He was in a different movie, but they were pushing Grown Ups at the time, and David Spade was there. And he come up to me and he's like, "Dude," he goes, "that was freaking fun." And I was like, I was on cloud nine. I couldn't have been any higher than I was. You know what I mean? And that was off no drugs. That was just straight up God giving you a good life. But I walk back there and I see Taylor, and she waves at me. And so I go up to say, hi to her. Now, whether she was like, "I can't believe it's Big Vinny," I don't even know if she saw our performance.
Yeah.
But, she was just one of those, like, she was always aware, like Garth. If you ever seen Garth, Garth is aware of everything and everybody around him.
All the time.
At all time.
He
remembers everything.
He remembers people.
Taylor's the same way. Mm-hmm. And so whether she really, thought that much of me, or if she just knew, hey, that's Big Vinny, he's on the label, the other side of the label, whatever it was. But she waved at me. I started walking over to her. Of course, there was security. It was in 2010. She had just started to kind of really, she was already huge, but this is when she started getting into that, even into the pop stuff a little bit.
What was she?
I think 20? Shake It Off maybe was out.
Like 2021?
See, she was born in 89. This was in 2010. So whatever that makes her.
21? No, 21. 21.
Can we get someone to do the math over there?
Yeah, do the math.
We're the only ones here. So anyways, yeah.
Anyways. I
was trying to get like where music started slowing and you went into the
so that happened shortly after that. We had a great summer. That was our most money making. I think we did 1.7 or 1.8 million gross that year touring. And
do you have any idea of take home?
We were making $350 a year a piece, probably.
Okay.
So not bad. Half. But we also not half. Half of it was profit, but we could have had more, but we kept stuff in the bank. So we ran our stuff like a business. We got paid a salary every month.
Yeah. So you had an S corp. Yeah.
Yes,
so you were paying yourself.
Yeah. And so we all three got paid the same check every single week. It didn't go up just because we made more this month or that month. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to be able to put stuff in the bank so that we could live for a longer time, but also invest in other stuff, all that. And we had seen that from Toby.
You have
what
a
Toby
profit
had done.
pool. Yeah.
And plus, you got to buy plane tickets. You got to have money in the bank. You can't just spend out every dollar it comes out.
Yep.
Which is the fight with the band. The band's like, y'all made $30,000, and I'm like, hang on. We didn't make $30,000. We got paid $30,000, and then 50% of it immediately was gone to people that have their hand in the cookie
and everything
jar.
else. Yeah,
yeah. And no, it was just you got 15% to the manager, booking, you got 10% to the booking agent, you got 5% to the business manager. We had a woman that had came in and invested in us named Jen Helly. Had came in and signed us to pub deals and all that kind of stuff.
Gave her
we were giving her 5% of everything up until $250,000 or for 7 years. Mm-hmm. And we took care of her, and we never stopped paying that. We made sure she got paid every dime back she ever spent on us, and plus some. I
did this sit-in one time at William Morris where they had a couple lawyers, entertainment lawyers came in, one being Jason Aldean's and stuff, and talking about like and how they were warning people that, like, again, be safe with your money and know what you're doing because you don't have that money. Like, it's not all your money.
No, listen, if we just got paid $30,000 a night and it was all ours, and we would have been making, each one of us had millions of dollars.
I want to say that he said that, like, Aldean's, like, take home, like, from gross. So his net is like 20% or under 20% of gross.
Yeah.
Which is, he's still obviously.
Yeah, when you're making,
$10 million.
60 million,
Yeah.
I mean, I think Aldean's $1 million a night at now. So his gross,
how little
he does,
keep.
60 shows a year. So $60 million would be his gross.
Yeah.
And then after you pay for all the stuff and pay for all the buses and all that stuff.
10 to 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad life, right?
Now, obviously, when you're at the size of like Aldean and Toby and Morgan Wallen, you're not giving a manager 15 to 20% at that point.
Yeah, and
maybe
your deals have gotten smaller.
Yeah.
You're getting
Well,
you're getting more.
You're not going to go to your
as
business
you've
manager and it's like, hey, yeah, you
established.
can keep having 5%. You're going to be like, no, you can have 2% or 1%.
Yeah, and
they're going to say, okay, because still your 1% is way better than
Correct.
making
Yeah.
10% of what Trailer Choir was making.
And then they do what Toby did and what Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw and they create their own labels.
Yeah.
And then they use it under the umbrella with the partnership of whoever their main label used to be. And they use them for infrastructure, radio.
Well, and they
everything,
also then can work it out. See,
but they don't need them to be like to break them anymore.
Yeah, they don't have to. They have to tell more people no.
Yeah.
Toby's manager was my manager, was TK Kimbrough. He had to tell for us. We're out there looking for stuff, and by default, sometimes when they would say no for Toby, they'd be like, "But we got Trailer Choir over here," So that there's a lot of luxuries that come with that. But then there's also a lot of realizing like, hey, Toby's number one. So if it conflicts at all with what we need to do for Toby, we're not going to do that, even if it's better for you. And I think that's okay because you don't bite the hand that feeds you, and people would think you could get frustrated. I'm like, dude, I would much rather make sure Toby's staying on top because the only way that I even got a chance to even be in the game is because Toby was on top, and that guy changed my life. So, but
what a novel concept. To actually appreciate the people that
took care of you. That's weird.
Weird, huh?
Hey, here's a prime example. When we got let go from the label, Toby let us go scot-free. We didn't have to pay nothing. We didn't owe nothing. We could go sign any deal we wanted.
Again, for listeners who don't know the industry at all, that is not unusual. It's unheard of, period.
Yeah.
Like
no sunset clause.
At best, you get to buy back that stuff. And
we didn't even have a re-record clause. We didn't. I mean, they made it to where we could.
So you could literally go and re-record any of the. Yeah,
we didn't
out of
respect for Toby, and listen, that's to me that's the better move to make. We're always going to make more music.
Yep.
I mean, are we ever going to have one as successful as Beer Gut was? Probably Walmart Drip. But no,
sure.
I mean, who knows?
It might end up making more money.
It could.
Walmart
Drip. You just never know what's going to happen in the music industry. And in my opinion, you just got to keep working.
And that's
consistently
to me, one of the coolest parts about the industry is you literally don't know what can happen.
No.
And you don't know when you write that song.
Look at Oliver Anthony.
Yeah.
We never heard of that dude.
The coolest quote that I've ever heard from him was like right afterwards where he's like, I'm just a alcoholic, like middle class dude who
loves Jesus and still does stupid stuff.
And I was just like, man, how cool.
Now think about it. I mean, his life was changed. I mean, this is probably a way worse example than that, but that Hawk Tua girl, she was being goofy on the internet, said that, and, which I know she did some kind of pump and dump with the meme coin or whatever. But I'm saying she took advantage of the situation she was put in.
I don't think that was her either.
I think that it was her team kind of screwed her. But, but you think about that girl was given one opportunity off of an embarrassing moment that she could have took and ran and been like, oh my gosh, my dad's going to see this, my mom's going to see this. She didn't. She owned it, and she made probably millions of dollars off that.
That is the one point with that. I'm like, obviously, real creators, real like entertainers, real artists,
it can hurt your head a little bit. I get
you're
it.
like, what? Like now. But then I've watched her and how she's capitalized on it. Yeah. And I've listened to her on like the Whitney Cummings podcast stuff talking. And I'm like, she's intelligent. She's actually good at what
she's from Bessemer City, right?
Yeah, when she sits
Bessemer
down there,
City,
I'm like,
Tennessee or Bath Springs or wherever she
she could have started a podcast before any of that. And people have listened to her. I think she's intelligent.
I think she's funny. I think she got that good country voice. She's cute. She's... everybody that I've talked to that knows her, I don't know her, but they say she's a very sweet girl, very nice person,
Seems like it.
I mean,
it truly does. I think that's what
her boyfriend loves her,
Yeah. I think what people love to, and what happens a lot is when it feels completely authentic. She did nothing about what she's done. Seems like she's like putting on a show or entertaining. It's like she's just being herself. Yeah. Oliver Anthony was just being himself.
Yeah.
I'm like those are the moments that
I think he's got him a second hit.
Now. Huh?
I think he's got him a second hit.
Oh, I didn't.
He's got the
hear it
Scornful
yet.
Woman. Have you heard it yet?
Oh yeah, I did.
Dude, I think
actually.
it's
It's cool. I watched the.
she wants all the money.
Yeah.
You know,
I
whatever he does
watched
with it.
I think he has a music video that shows them live recording that, like in a house somewhere, and they're in
Like
different
burning
rooms.
it down. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Hey, listen. I mean,
That was cool. Yeah, to me that is
he's
as
taking a
good as-
moment.
yeah,
I think he was smart to sign with UTA. I believe he signed with UTA
For booking.
For booking. To make sure he handled that the right way, because it's hard when you don't
to be
realize,
honest,
man.
as an independent artist, that's the one thing that you need more than anything else is good booking.
Yeah, and good booking's hard because
If you're seasoned.
they have to have incentive to book you. They have to have a platform to book you on. And so, you know, the thing we ran into, like when Trailer Car was out crushing it, I mean, they were just getting phone calls every day.
Yeah.
And they were just having to say, hey, they're already booked for this, this, and this. Here's the next date you can have them.
Yeah.
But when that stops happening, it's at that point either somebody's got to get on the phone and start calling, or they're going to drop you down to to somebody else that will take that time.
Yep.
And so the problem is when you're on your way down, 2 or 3 other people are on their way up, or 20 or 30 other people are on their way up.
And now
so,
even more
So now
so.
you got to create another moment, you know. So what he's done, he had that moment. I think he got up to over $100,000 a night booking, you know, as Oliver. He was selling out 10, 15,000 places, you know.
Which normally you would need multiple number ones.
Yeah.
Like you
But-
probably need 5 number ones on
But
radio.
it
to get to
surpassed all genres. I mean,
like-
obviously it went in country music, but everybody was listening. All the creators and content people were like, dude.
Well, Rogan, I think, but
You get Rogan.
completely blew it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but his comments on it and stuff too. He's like, this is
is
everything
real.
I love about country music.
Yeah.
Is real life. Like,
Well, I just think
it's not people bragging about.
No,
shit
he
all
was,
the
he was
time.
like,
It's like-
he was like, dang, dude, I'm barely paying my
It's
bills.
real
and
life
stuff. You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, some of the stuff in there, they're like, you know, people say, man, it's the most well written song ever. I'm like, from a songwriter standpoint of how you normally write a song, it wasn't. But from the standpoint of the people listening, it was.
Which even me, like structurally and stuff, you're right. Not like
Yeah, there were some
normal.
lines in there was like, well, that doesn't really ain't how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
But it's exactly how it's supposed to go. You know, and it's kind of funny. Like we sit down in these rooms every day and write songs and come up with something clever and great and all that kind of stuff. But the best ones happen out of the blue. You know how it is.
Yeah.
The best ones happen when you're just riding down the road after a show. It happens to me a lot of times if I have a long drive after a show. Like my mind's still in music mode and it's in creative mode because I've had to be on there on stage doing it. And then all of a sudden it's like, man, what about this? And then all of a sudden a melody comes to me. It happened to me the other night. I'd been all day at CMA Fest. I mean, I went all day. I started at like 9 o'clock that morning. The show didn't end until 12 o'clock that night at the Teddy's. I was the host of 2 or 3 different things that day. I mean, I was going nonstop. And I was tired. But, man, I was sitting there and this song just started hitting me. And I already sang it to y'all earlier. I won't sing it on here. I won't give away the juice. Because when this song comes out and it's a number 614 on the charts, I want y'all to love it then.
Top 20,000 country songs
Yeah.
released today.
I'm in the top 1% of, you know. But anyway, it's it was just one of those things, man, where that's where it gets you sometime, and you just never know when it's going to hit. So I think for him, man, he was fed up, you know, and he wrote that song. He's like, dang, dude, I'm sitting here working a blue-collar job, working my butt off every single day, and meanwhile there's people up here arguing and you know, fighting over stuff that they don't even really have a clue about.
Yeah.
And they're making $250,000 a year salaries, you know.
I think the most dangerous people in that sense where like anything can happen and they're capable of anything are people that feel like they're at the end of their rope.
Oh, 100%.
And I feel like that's where he thought it
When you
was.
feel
He's
like
like, what do I have to lose?
What do I have to lose?
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm not going to like, I don't care anymore.
But
Like,
you know what he did?
And he just put out his real self.
He made
like,
a piece of content. That one piece of content changed his life.
You know how many times I've actually thought about that? Like that day that he drove that stuff out there, set up that mic, did that. And I'm like, I wonder how many times he thought about not doing it.
Or I wonder how many times he did it before that none of that worked out.
Yeah. You know what I mean? All of those things. I'm like, there's so much that I'm like, you just have to try. You
gotta
have
keep
to
going.
keep doing it. Like
The people, I'm telling you,
Do
I was
it.
lucky enough to be born here. So I didn't have to like leave my friends and my family and everybody behind. You kind of do because you still 2 hour and a half
Yeah.
away, whatever. But people like, you know, you think about these people that move here from
California,
700-800
everywhere,
miles
yeah.
away, 1,000 miles away, 2,000 miles
Jessie
away.
G, we're gonna have her on this week.
Yeah,
I mean,
think about Jessie. I mean, she's coming all the way out here from
Washington.
Washington State. leaving everything she knows behind, leaving all the securities of her family, her friends,
On
everybody
literally
she loves.
just a whim, and the fact that
I got a talent.
Gretchen was like, I think you can do this. And she's like, all right, I'm gone.
You know, it's crazy. And then you get here. You literally, you get here and you find everybody you see is more talented than you. Now, maybe they're not really, but in your mind, because you're used to playing in your hometown where you're like, oh, dude, I'm clearly the best. And then you get up there. When I walked into James Otto and Shannon Lawson singing at Music Mafia.
Oh, Otto, man, his voice.
Yeah, he's so good. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, that's when I started dancing. No joke. I was like, well, I'm going to have to dance. Because I ain't never going to sing like those guys. I mean, I never forget. The first time that I got to meet Chris Stapleton, we did a show with Danielle Peck for Operation World Outreach.
She's an Ohio girl.
She is an Ohio girl, Chillicothe. But so we did this show with her. Yeah, we did this show with her, and we were going to kind of be the headliner, trailer choir. Now it was acoustic, but I was still going to do the worm and splits, all that stuff.
Well, she's like, you can't not. So
yeah, I mean, come on, and it was at Cannery Row Ballroom or whatever.
I think you would be like one of the best WWE stars.
I wish for real. I wanted to do it so bad. I mean, it's
your character. Just
at least let me be a manager. Let me like Bobby the Brain Heenan or something like that.
Yeah, and then you just come in randomly with a chair and give them.
Yeah, every now and then, I can take a hit here and there.
Or you could like. Announcer.
Yeah,
I can picture you as like the King. Lawyer,
Jerry the King Lawler, baby.
Yeah.
Listen, he's Tennessee boy. Yeah. But anyway,
all right. Yeah.
What was I saying?
Back to it. Chris Stapleton.
Now I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're doing this thing where you get these kids adopted.
Acoustic, worm.
Yeah. No, we're doing this thing where you get these kids adopted. Well, nobody had adopted any kids. Well, right before we were going to go home, this guy gets
get
up.
kids adopted.
Yeah, to help
so
kids
you show them off, hold them up on the camera.
Papers.
Yeah,
his papers. They were like kids in Ghana and,
do you want this one?
Different places. I got Jonas Oparis, who I adopted that night. But anyways, as we're sitting there,
wait, how's he doing right now?
I paid the $37 a month all the way up until he graduated high school, and
that's
all that
really
stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
Come on,
they would give me. I would get little pictures and cards and stuff from him every year. That's and cool, once I was in, I was like, dude, there's no way I can not give this $37.
Yeah, right. Come on.
And like I said, who knows? Maybe it was all fake stuff they sent me, but it was like handwritten letters and stuff. I don't think it was.
Yeah,
I think
it's legit. I was in Ghana this year. And I know how appreciative
man, I'm telling you, it
stuff,
was a cool experience for me.
Yeah.
To watch this kid grow up, even if it was in pictures. I never met him. I never got to hang out with him and even do a video call, but I got to sit there and know that $37 is so minimal to Americans.
I'm trying to wait. I set you up to like make you look bad a little, and again, you just pull through every time. It's like, nope, he makes the right decisions.
Hey, listen, I couldn't not do it at that point.
One of the best humans.
I mean, they send you the thing and be like, because of you, this month his entire family ate, and they got to go to school. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting there thinking $37 did that. I'm like, holy crap, I could go there and be a king. I'll take all $560 I got in the bank and go.
He's like, just one kid? I'll take two.
Yeah, give me five. No. But what happened that night was literally right before we were going to get up, Chris Stapleton gets up. And I'd never met him.
And you're like, I'm done.
And he sings. And I was like, we need our full band. We're going to have something. Yeah. So we get up there. And, of course, now I did what I thought I could do. I got up there and said, ladies and gentlemen, how many of y'all have spent $30 on your bar tab tonight? And everybody's, yeah. How many of y'all have spent $60 on your bar tab tonight? Yeah. I said, how many of y'all have spent at least $100 on your bar tab tonight? Yeah. I was like, good. I said, well, there's a bunch of kids back here that haven't been adopted. I just adopted one. I got Jonas Opari. It's time for y'all to step to the plate. We have to get these kids adopted. I said, for the price that you spent on your bar tab tonight, you could do at least three kids and feed them for an entire month and all their stuff.
Or you give up one night out.
Give out one night out, So I literally said that, and almost every kid got adopted that night. And it was a cool moment. But honestly, you thought I did it for the kids. I really did it because there was no way to follow Chris Stapleton as a singer on an acoustic level.
Except he's like, how do I do that? My voice can't do it. I bet if I get these kids adopted,
bam, boom, money in the bank. So, but anyways, I'm just saying, you get to Nashville and you realize like there's a lot of talented people in this world, and then you got the biggest lesson I can teach any young artist coming in is not to compare yourself. Be you. Be the best version of you that you can be. Write the songs that you write.
Observe. Take it in.
Yeah.
Don't try to mimic. Don't try And again, do not compare yourself.
I don't even care if you try to mimic, but if you compare yourself, you're never going to stop comparing yourself.
Yeah.
It's never going to, I mean, you got to literally, you got to look at those people and be like, that's awesome. They're great. I respect their talent. I'm the best me in the world. Nobody's better at being Big Vinny than Big Vinny.
I will agree with that.
Nobody's better at being Ryan Robinette than Ryan Robinette.
I've tried to be me. I'm not good at that either.
Somehow I messed that up. Yeah. But anyway, no, I'm just saying, so
that's cool.
For me, it's like music will always be a part of what I do, no matter what. Of course, I have other businesses. I have the Buffalo River Resort. I have a production company. We have staging and lights and all that kind of stuff.
I think you are entertainment. Period.
Yeah, I'm the overall attraction. The overall attraction, right?
How did I miss that again?
Yeah,
come on.
I mean, that's what it's for. The overall
attraction.
I want to just create good in the world. I think there's a lot of hard and sad and tough, and we're pushed that on the news.
And that happens without our choices. So.
Yeah. So to me, it's like, man, if I can add good to the world today, even if it's just in my little bubble, that to me, that's a quality of life I'd like to, stay in.
We're very similar.
It doesn't mean that I don't have secrets or things that I wish I hadn't done or whatever
things that bother you or that you're not unhappy
or that
about certain things.
It's not like I don't have a down day. I don't know. I guess I really.
It's not like you're not a human.
Yeah. I mean, but it's funny when you are as up as I am. If you're even quiet, people are like, "Dude, what's wrong with you? Are you okay?"
About this. I'm the same way. Like,
I'm like, dude, I'm fine. I'm
actually just chilling today.
Yeah,
like it's cool to not be on sometimes.
Yeah,
but instantly, people again, if that's your personality, people are like, "Are you all right?"
Yeah,
you all right?
And for me, it's like when I can just be Big Vinny and just be this character that I love to be, which is my real name. It's not like I'm calling myself a fake name. I don't have an alias. But when I get to just be the guy that's entertaining people, loving on people, when I get to be Big Vinny, it's one thing. But Vincent is a businessman who has to put together these shows and has to make sure that the stuff's running right at the resort and has to make sure that all the business deals are going down. When I have to be that, I mean,
it's Granger Smith and Earl Dibbles.
Yeah, exactly. But when I have to be that guy, it does change my personality some because you have to be a little more self-preservative. Like me, I'll give and give and give.
Because you're doing your job.
But as Vincent, I'm like, oh, wait a second. I got to make sure my family's getting, what they need to survive.
It's a different job, yeah.
I need to make sure that I'm not getting screwed over on this deal.
Your job as an entertainer and your job as a provider are different.
It's different things. Yeah. So, but it's learning to balance that has been hard because as a person that's naturally a giver and naturally a person that wants to, I'm a people pleaser. I want to entertain everybody. I want everybody to feel comfortable and happy before me.
In the best sense of the word, you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. I believe you enjoy it. But I also believe that you do it for the sake of other people.
Oh, man,
because
I want to
you feel so blessed with everything you have.
Yeah,
and that's what I've felt over and over is you've had the opportunities and you can't wait to pay them forward to other people.
And I've done that a lot. As far as the music stuff goes, I almost felt like I cheated a little bit because, I've had so many opportunities that a lot of people have never got that are more talented than me when it comes to the sense of singing and playing guitar or whatever, even songwriting. I mean, I consider myself a pretty good songwriter, but I've known some guys that are just, they put words to paper and you're like, dude, how did you come up with that? And never had a single bit of success. So to me, it's like, I look at it and say look, I'm going to outwork you. You're not going to outwork me. You might come in and be better than me. You ain't going to outwork me.
Speaking of, you're pretty good at putting words to paper too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're a great vocalist, great entertainer. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, what are a couple songs you've written for other artists that have been out?
I mean, I had Stuck with Kane and Smith that did good.
Great.
I had one called with Seasons After called Going Out and Getting Even. It was a top 20 in the rock world. Had a couple with Hinder.
Yeah.
So I've had quite a few cuts. I've had 51 cuts as a songwriter.
Stuck, great song. Kane and Smith's first full length, right? It was Bronco. Yeah. Also listen to Bronco.
Bronco's a great song.
Track
too,
13, I believe.
Yeah.
On that album,
brother,
acoustic, right? And it's about his brother passing when he was young, dying in a car accident. And I've been a huge Kane Smith fan since that album. And Stuck, I love that song. I thought it was so cool.
Dude, I got the call on that song that all of the songwriters wait for. I got the call from Cost Weaver. Dude, you got the next
record.
single. I got the next single.
That was a single?
It was supposed to be a single. I get the call. It's a single. It's the next one. It got a 9 out of 10 at CRS. It's going to be huge.
I thought it was.
He had just had a number one, so it was right after his number one. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, yes. It's finally happened. Called my mom. I got a call from Olay Publishing, like, hey, we'd like to split the publishing with you. We'll give you $75,000 up front, blah, blah, blah. Like, I got a call from Gilles over at Olay. I was so pumped up. He goes, yeah, as long as it comes out as a single,
Is that where you were writing Olay?
No, I never wrote for them. Just me and Gilles has always been good buddies.
Okay, that's where
But he when he heard that I was going to have the next single coming out and found out that I was writing on, he called me first. Honestly, he called me before it was a single. Said, dude, this song is a hit. Yeah, what a dick. How dare him like me before it's a single.
Yeah.
But no, because Weaver called me and told me that it was going to be the next single, and I was super pumped up. And then everything was going that way. And about 2 weeks later, they called and said, hey, they decided to go with this Hole in a Bottle song, which is a cool song. Dan Couch wrote it.
Yeah.
It's a cool song. But they were trying to get more of the guy crowd. So they had the women crowd love Kanan, but they weren't really getting the guy crowd. But I'm like, you don't need the guy crowd if you got the women crowd, because guess what I'm going to do? Go wherever my wife wants to go. Wherever my girlfriend wants to go.
Why am I blanking on the hit?
Love single. You long as a Mississippi.
Love you like that.
Yeah. Fifth of whiskey. Yeah. Did that. I ain't she's a fishing in the dock.
Yeah. Okay.
Girl.
So there was a few songs on that. Stuck was the
Mad Love was good.
Yeah, I think it was production wise. I think it might have been almost a little ahead of its time. Honestly,
yeah, Mad Love was. It was a cool song,
it was
dude.
Really cool.
Got that mad
dude.
Love.
Stuck was the next to me the next easy single.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, I think just being that it was another love song, and
then one of those I thought was a single.
One of those is great too.
Yeah,
I love Bronco.
That was an Eric Church song. One of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds straight up like Eric Church will put that out.
Man, Kanan to me, they missed. I mean, he had that one number one. I just booked him on a couple shows. Actually, he's playing up in Minnesota for me at one of my state fairs.
I've never even got to talk to the dude. I would love to have him on here.
Oh, I'd get him on your podcast. You'd love him. Kanan would love you.
I've been a huge fan.
He went to Belmont. He actually played guitar for my wife's band in college.
It's
at Belmont.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I've never I'm really big into I'll love music. Mm-hmm. I'll love the songs. I won't decide whether I love an artist normally until I get to see some of the personal side. Yeah, somehow. Well, I think Kanan was one of those where I think he exposed himself enough on the record that I felt like I knew him in a way that I was
Kanan
really cool. Yeah.
Kanan, honestly, I think would live in the woods and be a mountain man if he could. Which is funny.
Sounds like my dude.
Because when that song first came out, everything on his first records were this very lighthearted kind of pop country stuff, all that kind of things they put out.
Country radio, perfect.
But he really is that Appalachia. He's from the hills of West Virginia. This dude loves to be in the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's what he wants to do. You watch him. Go check out his content. It's always him and his wife on a hike with their kids.
So I know FGL started around here. Didn't they sign?
They signed him.
Signed him.
So they all went to Belmont together. They were all friends. And he wrote Runaway for Love and Theft. Kanan did. Remember that song? Mm-hmm. Got the dinner roll down and the sun down. Got to send and then the road tracks. Make my getaway. He wrote that.
Okay.
I think he had a couple others he was writers on. I think he's written a couple for Tyler from Florida Georgia Line. I think he might have written one.
I think he wrote one on one of the FGL albums.
One of the FGL albums too. So
I kind of want to say maybe with Russell too.
He's actually producing.
He was another Belmont boy. They all met.
He's producing
Belmont,
the new Tyler record.
Who?
Kanan. He's producing Tyler's new record. Yeah. So he's a great producer. I got him working with one of my kids, Owen Whaley, that I brought into town.
Tyler's solo stuff.
It's cool. It's cool. But I love Brian's too. BK's stuff. It's like this beach cowboy thing. But he's it's been funny because he's done stuff as straight up rappers, and then he's done stuff as country as it could get.
Me and BK need to do a beach song together.
I know, y'all should do one together. The beach cowboy and the beach cowboy. I've
been reaching out to his people. They haven't got back to me yet. I don't know. But we'll try. We'll keep trying. I don't know.
Just keep messaging him.
Well, the good thing is I got his cell phone
number. I parked outside his house one time.
I'll call and bug the crap out of him. I got his cell phone number.
There you go.
I booked him on enough stuff now. So. No, y'all make some cool music together.
I obviously that I do the side summer project stuff. And then,
I had a song that I thought about you on called "Buffin' It" that I wrote with Mark Mulch. And it's like, hey, we're just Jimmy buffing it,
Yeah.
It's just talking about being on vacation, basically. Right,
see, a true business. This is Vincent talking. True businessman. He's pitching songs in the middle of the podcast. He's like, you gotta take advantage of the time you got.
You do. Hey, listen. Ryan, yeah, you're a great artist, man. I hope you never lose that side of you. I think you're going to do huge things in this business. I think this podcast can blow up for you. I think that you're going to run your own record label one day. But I hope you never stop making music and doing stuff. I actually heard about you. I didn't even, before I met you, I'd heard about you from my ex-wife. She was a fan of your music. She had heard you on Spotify. Do what?
Is that why she's your ex?
Yeah.
You're like, no, your taste in music.
Oh, your taste in music is awful. No, she had told me about you. This is, he was like, hey, you got to check out this kid, Ryan Robinetti. He's good, and I had checked you out. And then sure enough, it was probably 2 months later that you had ended up coming into the show one night with somebody. I want to say it was
probably AJ or someone.
No, it wasn't AJ. It was this before AJ. I think it was before AJ.
So back, was it Doghouse?
Yeah, Doghouse. When we first
Tyler Rich, maybe.
Might have been Tyler.
That was the group. Tyler Rich, Nick Alligood.
And Tyler. Yeah, those are the ones that brought you, and I met you through them. There was one other one. I can't remember who it was, but there was one other guy that you were friends with. Maybe he plays bass, got tattoos.
Oh, yeah, Dean Purificato.
Yeah. Y'all would come in, and I'd see y'all, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I've heard of that guy, And you had, your streams were huge at the time. I think you were crushing it on.
Yeah, I got very lucky, man, early on. With my first singles, it was where labels were still fighting streaming,
Right.
where they weren't reaching out to the head of, John Marks at Spotify saying, can you put these people on there? They're like, they'll put them on there.
Thanks for leaving, John. Ever since you've been gone, I can't get a damn call with Spotify ever.
Pretty much. But no, Rachel helped me a little bit because she was at Pandora before. And when she went there, she tried to help me too. But at that time, again, labels have become the owners of Spotify almost.
Yeah.
You know how.
Yeah,
I got very lucky. My first few singles, I did the footwork. I found the people. I reached out to the heads of all the streaming. I pitched myself, kind of thing, all of that. And I had a buddy, Jared Barr, who was helping manage me at the time.
I remember him, yeah.
Yeah. All Ohio boys. John Marks actually went to OU, Ohio University, where Jared had went to, and an hour from us where we grew up. And then Ken Tucker at Apple Music went to OU, and he was the head of their country and Christian at the time. I think he's at BBR in their Eastern radio division now or something. But so it was a lot of circumstance and stuff too, where I'm like, do I even deserve these chances?
Yeah, it was your network. But they say your network is your net worth, man. So you had a network of people that were doing.
I remember John Marks saying, he's like, all right, you have a decent social following, you're getting going, stuff like that. I was still living in Florida, and he's like, it was for a while, and he was like, this is a little racy for what country music is right now. And he's like, I like the song. I've let a couple colleagues listen to it. Instantly, they're like, I would listen to it on the radio. He's like, I'm going to give it a shot on New Boots. And he's like, how it works is by performance. He's like, so the songs that end up getting skipped the most or don't get saved from the playlist or don't whatever, we start moving them down and they'll fall off the list eventually. Right. And he's like, so could be 2 weeks, could be a week, could be a month, whatever. And he's like, but I just, so don't expect because I was like a giddy little kid. I'm like, what? This is crazy. Yeah. And ended up being on there for 9 months. And
that's great, man.
And he straight up told me, he was like, I'm telling you, this is not because of anything else but performance. He's like, getting on here is different. But
getting
once
on
you're here,
he's like,
performance is all
I think
that
that's
matters.
all you can ever ask for. Is like, hey, if it gets on and it starts doing
give
well,
it a shot. Yeah.
Listen, I go and
now it's just so hard to get a shot, period.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I've put out, I've submitted the playlist thing every time with every song. I've never even got a single message back or anything else.
I think they did that to appease the general people, the people that are just putting out a song every now and then and stuff, and they want to pitch, and instead of them cluttering their emails and stuff, they were like, let's just make everyone happy and be like, pitch through here.
I think one of the big things is I have to be more consistent. I can't put out 1 or 2 songs a year. You got to put out a song every 4 to 6 weeks, and that's hard to do. The budget, the
family,
money,
and
the
everything
money
else too.
Well, I have enough songs to do 10 albums right now. I mean, I have so many songs.
I was going to say probably more now, honestly.
And so, but my issue is obviously there's no reason to put out an album. You know, you should just put out one song at a time, but you still got to go pay $1,500 to $2,500 to cut that song, and then you got to have
just to record it.
Just to record it. Then you got to have some kind of budget behind it. You got to make graphics, which I do all that with AI now. You know, and I hate to say that because I'm a huge fan of actual graphic artists and designers.
Yeah.
But I can't afford to pay $500 to $1,000 every time I want some album art
Or
made.
find the right person too.
Yeah, and then I've also done it before where I paid somebody $500, and no matter how hard we tried, they couldn't get something that I thought was what I wanted to say my song.
And as an artist, that's one of the things that's like we want control over that too. And I've been stuck in situations where I end up paying someone didn't use.
Hey, the Walmart drip logo I made on the Arvin app. The Big Vinny logo I made on the Arvin app.
I think AI and that has a purpose as a set of tools to help,
Yeah.
And I believe that there's a spot for AI to exist where it does not trample on creativity or what we do.
Well, it didn't trample on my creativity because I can't make none of that stuff anyways. I don't have the ability. However, now because of AI, I do.
My Wayback cover.
Yeah.
That was ChatGPT, but I mean, I had the concept, and
now you still have to prompt it.
Yeah,
and tell it
I
what you
wanted to
want.
put like way back on a road sign, and I wrote out all that prompt and stuff, and it probably took me 30 minutes, and I can do graphic design. I've done almost all of mine forever.
AJ's like that too. He does a lot of his
it was
own
just
stuff.
cool. Yeah,
To me, it's like people are like, you don't want your face on it. I'm like, dude. I mean, I'm beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
yeah. I mean, I would look at you any
But
day.
to me, it's like I wouldn't want to wear my face on a shirt. I can't understand why anybody wants to wear another man's face on their shirt. Now, if it's
covering up my shirt with his face on it right now.
if it was Conway Twitty, or Hank.
Yeah, I think if
it's
they're
different.
dead, it's different too.
Yeah, well, Hank Senior's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that makes more sense to me. But, or if I had Metallica on my shirt,
or concert.
But I mean,
concert shirts with a face on
if I
it,
walked around
too.
wearing a Luke Bryan shirt, I love Luke. I think he's great. He's always been very nice to me. I don't want to walk around with his face on my shirt.
I don't know.
Every time I look down, he's looking at me like, "Hey man, what's going on?" I mean, I
get all the girls to look at you though.
That's true. That's true. They get it. He starts to country girl shake that thing for me or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, if I wanted my wife to look at me, I'd have to put John Travolta. She's a big John Travolta fan. So I'd have to have me a John Travolta shirt, which I would probably wear a John Travolta shirt.
I could see you doing some grease.
Yeah, I'm giving you a John Travolta grease shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to have something, as I make my shirt with this logo. It's like a graffiti logo, and it says Walmart drip, and it's got my little logo, my Big Vinny logo at the bottom. I just feel like I just wanted something I could sell that anybody could wear, that could, throw on anything and it looks good.
It's cool and fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So back on track here. So from there, I want to get to the Biggest Loser stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know that you personally told me that changed your life in such a huge way. So just kind of run us up to what got you on that show and why you decided to.
Yeah. So, well, there's the day that everything kind of started to hit me, I didn't take time in the moment of success to appreciate it because I was always worried about when are we going to get that number one? When are we going to get to the next level? When are we going to do more? When are we going to do better?
But being on all the time too does not leave you much time to appreciate stuff.
You couldn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so, not that I didn't appreciate it, I did. I mean, I had fun during the moments, but I was always like, okay, but we got to get to number one. Okay, but we got to do better because we're not doing good enough. And that's that comparison thing. You're looking at some of your friends are starting to have number ones, and we're lagging. I think we got to 28 with Rockin' the Beer Gut, but we were selling like a number one. We were outselling the number one song in the country at the time.
In southeastern Ohio, you would have thought it was number one for like 8 weeks.
There was places. There was one guy that he ran 28 stations and he said no. And those were all 28 reporters, 26 of them.
You know his name? We can track him down.
I know his name. Here's the reason I wouldn't.
Let's stick Reddit on.
Here's why I wouldn't bust him out. He let us know he wasn't going to play it. He didn't say, hey, come play these. And he said, I'll be the first one to add Rolling Through the Sunshine. And he was the first one to add Rolling Through the Sunshine. He just hated the song. Well, it wasn't even him. It was his girl. She hated it because she thought it wasn't okay to tell people it was okay to be fat.
And that's one of my problems with it too. I'm like, what makes him the gatekeeper of everyone in that area who could have loved it?
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Every test,
that's one of the problems with radio and
every
radio
test
PDs.
you're supposed to pass, we passed. We were outselling the number one song. We were constantly getting requested. We were viral on the internet when that wasn't even a thing yet.
Their job should be to measure
Yeah.
what people think of the song.
He was a
after they play
consultant,
it.
and he was over, all the. It was Clear Channel back then, not iHeart.
Yeah.
It's called Clear Channel. Either way, if you know who that is,
And-
you'll know who it is. If you don't, then it don't matter. Anyways,
who you
we
are.
were touring, playing, and the day that everything kind of broke for me is we were opening for ZZ Top at Sturgis at the Buffalo Chip. 60,000 people out there revving up their engines. We play our show. We killed it. I mean, we crushed it and right after
You would be
us,
rock stars at Sturgis. Well, you for sure.
we crushed it, dude.
Butter's fun too. Butter's
Butter's hilarious, and I mean that's
He
back
was
when
great in the video.
That's
We'll
when he
get to
was
that
jumping
later.
into the drum sets and all that kind of stuff. But we crushed our show. Buck Cherry was on right after us, and then ZZ Top was after them. And when we got into our set, we finished our set, and we look over, and Buck Cherry and ZZ Top are standing on the side of the stage watching our whole show. I'm literally looking there. What was it Barry Gibbons? Yeah, Barry Gibbons, Barney Gibbons, Barry Gibbons. I get him mixed up with the Gibbs.
Dave.
No, Barry Gibb was the what's that? You can tell by the way I use my the Bee Gees, right? Ain't that what they? Either ways,
Keep it on Vinny while I'm looking this up.
yeah. Look it up. ZZ Top. I think it's Barry Gibbons.
It's
Barry Gibbons. I'm 99%
I don't
sure.
think it's Barry though, right?
Is it Barry Barney? Barry
Billy.
Gibbons
Yeah.
and Barry Gibb.
Yeah.
Barry Gibb is from the Bee Gees.
Frank Beard,
Billy Gibbons.
Frank Beard and Dusty Hill. Those
Yeah,
are the-
one of them passed.
Dusty
passed. So, anyways, they were all standing over there. They watched our entire show. I was pumped up. I couldn't believe it. We got to open for ZZ Top, legendary.
And they actually watched.
They actually came and watched on the side of the stage.
That's
and I couldn't,
another thing that
blew
does
my
not
mind.
happen again.
Yeah.
I measure when I open up for people too.
Do they come out
Like,
there and look at all?
Do they care even?
Yeah.
Because to me, I don't care how big I would get.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of music. I want to be around music.
I'd like to always.
I'm not going to.
I'd like to
isolate myself.
Just give the support and show. See who's
Yeah.
opening now.
Because
A lot of times, Toby obviously would come out and
watch.
watch us, but we were on his label. But there was times when Toby was filming stuff right up until he went on stage. So there's sometimes. But
get that.
it does
Or
make
meet
you
and
feel good.
greets
As an
and-
opener, it makes you feel good, and they care. Because we've had the opposite. We've had it to where we can tell
Sometimes
people
that's
didn't want
worth
us to
more
be
than
there.
pay. Yeah, sometimes it's worth more
worth
than pay.
more than to pay. To have one of your legend, like for us,
Someone
ZZ
that
Top,
you look up to come.
I mean,
out
Sturgis
there
probably
and
paid us 30
actually
grand,
care.
but to have ZZ Top watching me play as. But anyways, we get done. I walk over. They give us high fives. I'm like, dude, I couldn't believe it. I get back on my bus and I sit down and I'm like, well, what now? How do you top that moment? How do you get bigger than ZZ Top, a legendary band like that, watching you perform in front of 60,000 people revving their motorcycles? And I was always looking for that next thing to push back all the hard stuff that was in my life and all the feeling of failure and all that kind of stuff. If I could have one more success. So a lot of people would, I was obviously eating a lot of food.
Bear the lows with the highs.
I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. I didn't do that. My things was success and then food. Success, food. If I can just have more success, then I won't have to think about the stuff from the past and face all that. So I got done with that, and I was kind of sort of thinking, what's next? Well, then I was like, well, I know what I'll do. I'll go to L.A., and I'll be a movie star. I took over Nashville. Why can't I take over L.A.? So I get a chance to go audition for Dumb and Dumber 2 the first time they were going to make it. My lawyer, Cindy Fairley, is the Fairley brothers' sister, and she's their lawyer that does Kingpin, Dumb and Dumber, something about Mary. All the best movies
Fairley
ever.
Brothers,
So anyway, so
Off
I get
the
a
wall.
chance. I go out there, and she, I go and I audition. She's like, I love you. You're great. Da-da-da-da. She's like, but. I'm like, but. No, butts. I'm great. I'm awesome. I'm going to be huge. I'm the next freaking Jackie Gleason, Chris Farley, John Candy. And she goes, well, the problem is all those people were like 300 and something pounds at their heaviest. You're like 200 pounds bigger than them. She goes, so we're going to need you to go lose some weight. Or she goes, we can put you in the movies, but you're just going to be a slapstick character where you ride through and, on a 10 speed and wreck into the bushes because you're too big, or you in a Speedo
You're a
on the
moment,
beach and we're making fun of you.
yeah.
She's like, I don't want that for you. She goes, I think you've got more to offer than that. So let's try to lose some weight, whatever. And so I was like, okay. So I was kind of like sitting there that night. I'm like, how am I going to lose 200 pounds and still be Big Vinny?
And also
200 pounds.
be successful.
And be successful. Yeah.
And also get that high that you wanted from success.
Yeah.
So your competition.
And it was an odd situation, but that night I had this big knot come up on my leg that night. And I was like, what in the world is going on? So I WebMD it. Of course, I thought I had cancer or I had a hernia, And so, anyways, I was flying home Super Bowl Sunday from L.A. It was whenever the Packers were playing the Steelers.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers, at that point in time,
how old were you?
27.
Okay.
Yep, 27 years old.
And how much did you weigh at that time?
I was over 500 pounds.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It only went up to 500 pounds.
Yeah.
So 500 plus.
Yep.
And I get there and land. My leg was hurting, all this stuff. I was like, I'll go on Thursday because it was Super Bowl Sunday. I was going to go have my Super Bowl party at my house like I always did. I had that old church I bought and turned into a house. So anyways, we decided that's what we're going to do.
It. Yeah, I feel like definitely you're like, I should just turn this church into a house because I need to be under the Lord's roof at all times.
Hey, listen, it was really a real church. It was a Black
cool.
Baptist church over on 46th Avenue in Georgia.
That's really cool.
And we bought that thing and turned it into a house, and we kept the pulpit in there and everything, kept the stage.
That's cool.
We replaced the baptismal with a big home theater. But either way, I wasn't making near enough money to do that, but I thought it was. So, anyways, I kind of start having these issues with my leg, all this kind of stuff. Fly home, I don't realize what's going on. My then girlfriend, Lori, who became my first wife, made me go to the emergency room.
Was it DVT, like a deep vein thrombosis, like a clot?
No. I get there, they run all these tests. I, get in there. She's like, you weigh over 500 pounds and, you got diabetes.
You're
I'm
like, yeah.
I didn't know I had diabetes. She goes, by the way, your type 2, your blood sugar's over 500. I mean, it was insane.
Do you know you went?
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah. I mean, I was aware.
Yeah, come on.
Anyways, the bad part about it was she was a smoking hot female doctor. So now I got this female lawyer telling me to lose weight. I got my girlfriend
Hot
at the time telling me I got to go to the doctor. I get there, and when I get there, it's a hot female doctor telling me to lose weight. I'm like, dang, I mean, you can't get no more kicked in the teeth than what this is. And so the bad part about it was that the thing was like all the way up here right beside my
I love how you just took that. Like,
yeah.
But again, that's what makes you and what separates you from other people in situations. It's like, you took that and you're like, damn, this opens my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had this big old knot right up here on my leg, right beside my good stuff. And she goes, well, let me see it. I'm like, let you see it? You're a girl. She goes, would you rather a guy be looking at it? I'm like, no.
You're like, damn it.
But I'm looking over at my girlfriend. I'm looking over at my girlfriend like, do you really want me to like? She's like, pull your pants down.
You're like, Toby did this on the exposure tour.
So anyway, so she gets there and looks, and she's like, yeah. She goes, well, that's not a hernia. I'm like, you know what I'm talking about. I WebMD'd it. And so she ran some tests, and now the Super Bowl started, all this. It turns out it was cellulitis, which is a bacterial infection caused, but basically like an ant farm in your leg.
Yeah,
and it's feeding off all the blood sugar.
Rapidly reproduce.
Yeah. And it's causing it because of the high blood sugar. It's feeding it, So anyways, basically that's what caused the big knot there. They had to cut that thing out and all this kind of stuff. While I was there on the 6th day of being there, I get a call from a girl named Dana DeSilvio, a friend of mine that was on Biggest Loser the first season, but she only weighed like 180 pounds. She should have never been on the show, but the first season was different.
They were scraping the bottom of the barrel for first season.
But anyways, she called me and said, hey, they're auditioning people for the show. You should go. I'm like, I ain't going to that stupid show. I said, all they do is make fun of fat people. I ain't going out there and doing that. Hang up the phone. Look over. Lori's like, who's that? I'm like, I said, that was Dana. What did she want? It's like, she wants me to go on this stupid TV show, The Biggest Loser. I'm like, here I am trying to figure out how I'm going to lose 200 plus pounds.
And all she's doing is in my ear about all this
stupid reality TV show. And I'm getting the look like, you're an idiot, She goes, well, call her back. I was like, I'm not going on that show. Yes, you are. And next thing I know, I'm going to audition for the show, And I went and started watching the show, and I realized that it had changed so much since the first season. What a great show it was, the way they were really saving people's lives. And but I went and auditioned, and sure enough, got the call back. Ended up in the desert, and for the very first day of filming, we had to run this pole. It was a 50-pound pole, 10 pounds apiece. There was five of us. We had to run it for 1 mile. And I was like, I don't run 1 mile. I used to run 1 mile football all the time. Little did I know. So we take off sprinting. We don't get more than 70, 80 yards. I thought I was going to die. I made the whole mile. It took us 17 and a half, 18 minutes to get that mile in. With the pole. No, but you got 5 people. It's 10 pounds apiece. You got 5 people carrying it. Yeah. And you're not going at comfort speed because other people were trying to rush you,
Yeah.
Everybody on my team was 100 pounds lighter than me. Minimum 100 pounds. So I was so much bigger than them. And
were you the biggest one on that season?
I I was the biggest one as far as fat percentage.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was
Not
I wasn't
the heaviest.
Wasn't the heaviest because they had one guy, Anton Davis, that was 6'6". Now keep in mind, I'd already lost from 500 pounds down to 426 pounds before I got to the show.
You're starting to like.
I
you were
already had to
trying
start losing weight. I was
yeah.
already trying to lose weight because I didn't want to be diabetic.
And you wanted to be competitive too, on the show. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Well, little did I know it'd have been better for me to keep the weight on for the first week.
And then do it
all these
there.
people they gorged the night before we weighed in. I didn't know. I was like, well, I don't want to show them that I'm not doing
So
this thing.
cheap.
I didn't know. But either way, I mean, but I got in the middle of that run. At first, I was like, dude, I was there to get my career better. I was there to be on TV. I was there to to be a bigger
little
star.
of everything.
That's what I was there
you
for. I
love.
wasn't actually there to lose weight in the beginning. Halfway through that first run, I'm like, dude, you ain't here to be a bigger star. You're here because you're gonna die. You're going to die if you don't change your
something
ways.
clicked.
You're never going to get to be a dad. You're never going to get to have a family. You're never going to get married. And all the people that you're doing this, I said, all this is a slow suicide. Mm-hmm. Everybody else out there, they do it with a gun or they do it with they hang themselves or jump off something. Little do they know, or the alcohol, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, and alcohol is generally a slower suicide unless you run off the bridge. But but me sitting there, my addiction was food. The way some people would depend on alcohol to make them feel better for the day, I would get up and start eating.
And people, again, I think that you obviously know, but like it is what keeps us alive. So if you're doing that to the point where your body can't handle it, that's worse than anything that like this you could do. It really is. Like for longevity purposes, you can stop this and your body can recover. But once you damage your heart, and
you're always going to have to eat. You just have to change the way you eat.
Correct.
And of course, people see me now. I mean, I'm still a 340-pound guy. They're like, "Wait, you were on
you're
Biggest
healthy
Loser?"
though.
Different kind of weight.
Yeah.
I can also bench press 500 pounds.
I was gonna say, who else? Like The Rock is like 300 pounds.
Yeah,
like, come on.
Yeah. I think he's probably 275. He's a little taller than me, but not near as strong. I mean, he's
the point.
He's weak when it comes to if he got in the weight room with me,
The
he'd be
body
mad.
weight versus the amount of your body that's fat and everything else. All of that stuff.
But it
matters.
don't matter when it comes to life insurance and stuff like that. My numbers run perfect. Like my
BMI stuff.
My blood sugar when I wake up in the morning is 92. I test it every single morning. 92, 93,
awesome,
91. It's always in that area. My cholesterol, my LDL actually runs around 30, which is too low. Should be more like 45 to 50, on that.
You guys didn't know you were getting a medical lesson too.
Now I'm giving you medical lessons. All my numbers are great. As far as I don't have any blockages. I don't have any of that kind of stuff going on in my body. But
so what was that experience like then? All right, so you were like, this idiot. Like, here I am dealing with all this weight problem. This idiot's calling me about a show to lose weight and bugging me with this stuff.
No, it was just funny. I just she's somebody that I love so much, and she was just looking out for me. And that happened to me before. Remember when the flood happened in 2010?
Isn't it funny how you can be so?
Oh yeah,
you can like be so in one spot that you can't like see.
Dude, I had built up these walls around me, these fake walls. Now I was still the genuine
Entertainers
person,
do in general.
but I built
too.
up these walls around myself. I'm like, you got a good looking woman. You got a great job. You make good money. You're doing everything you want to do. You're out with celebrities every night. You're on TV. You're on movies. You're the man. Well, guess what?
You don't have to get better at
diabetes don't
anything.
give diabetes don't give one shit on how cool you think you are, how much money you have, or any of the other stuff. Cancer don't care. None of those.
I think
you know what? When you have a health problem, you don't have any other problems. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how. If you've got millions of dollars in the bank, but you got a health problem, you still feel like you're broke.
And sometimes it takes that though.
Yeah, that's what it took.
Open your eyes enough to see the rest.
It took me laying in a hospital bed in danger of losing my leg to diabetes for me to
what
wake
an
up.
idiot. Yeah.
And so the thing that got me before that, this is when I first started kind of working out before. I'd lost like 30 or 40 pounds. This is before even I went to the hospital.
Real quick, I think you had to develop something worth keeping.
Yeah.
Because normally those problems start because you don't have anything.
You need a purpose.
Yeah. You don't have purpose. You don't have people that depend on you in that way or anything. And that's how those problems develop. And your trauma, your childhood trauma.
Well, I mean.
And then like once you get to that point where you have stuff to lose, things start changing.
And what I'd done is I just surrounded myself with so many successes and great things that I felt like, no, it's okay for you.
Yeah, your resume
and
great.
So here's what happened. My buddy Keith Johnson calls me, one of my best friends in the world. He calls me. He says, "Hey man, I need to talk to you about something." I was like, "What's up, bud?" He goes, "You need to lose weight." Yeah. Straightforward. You need to lose weight. You're gonna die. He goes, "And you're one of my best friends, and I love you, and I don't want to see you die because you can't stop eating."
Day-to-day life, did it cross your mind that much?
No. Never.
You had energy and
I
stuff.
thought
right?
I had plenty of energy.
Yeah,
I thought I was the sexiest man in the world.
and that's
not a joke.
That's
I
one
still
of the
do, but-
hardest parts about it. It's like you can feel great, and it can hit you, and you can be gone that day.
Yeah, and but he just told me that, and I got mad at him. I'm like, dude, who are you? I was like, Psh, you ain't got the job you want. You ain't got the girl you want. I got everything. I'm the man. You know, that's the way I approached that. And I got mad at him. I was like, I can't believe you'd ever even talk to me. I was like, don't ever call me again. I was pissed. Well,
What are your thoughts now?
dude, well, it was like an hour later.
Tough love, right?
I'm sitting there, and I go to my other roommate, Michael Stanley. And, of course, I say my other roommate. He was my roommate. Keith wasn't my roommate, but he stayed at the house a lot. I went to I was like, can you believe he said that to me? He goes, yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I mean, Vinny, you're huge.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no way you can live a long life. He goes, I mean, I love you, and I love you no matter what form you're in, but at some point...
I would also like you to be around.
Yeah, at some point, you're going to have to change what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I kind of sit there by myself in my room, and I just kind of was like, dude, you were just an asshole to somebody that loves you, that cares about you, that cares.
Maybe he didn't come across right, but his intentions,
But he
were
got
good.
out of his comfort zone so much. He probably thought about saying that to me a million times.
And didn't have the balls.
And Keith literally looks like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, because
Like, this dude is 6'4", he's shredded to pieces, good looking dude. You know,
that's the hard part about like
been a model and an actor his whole life. You know, all this stuff.
he probably truly loved you.
No, he did.
And
He's one of my best
that's
friends.
one of the
yeah.
hardest part is like trying to say a tough truth to someone you love and not let it ruin the relationship.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's really to make sure the relationship stays.
Yeah. So I called him that night and I said, hey, man, I just want you to know I'm sorry for the way I acted. Thank you for caring enough about me. I know that I'm overweight, but I love...
What a dude.
I love the way I am and this and that. And he said, well, he goes, I love the way you are too, Vinny. He said, but you're not going to be able to live forever like that. He goes, why don't you just start working out? He goes, you used to lift weights all the time. Why don't you start working out with me just a couple days a week, 2-3 days a week? He goes, and then let's just change your diet just a little. Let's just switch to chicken and vegetables, you know, and stuff like
You
that.
still
and
eat
then
a lot of it.
he goes, you can still have some fast food. I would get a bag, and I'm not talking about a bag from the dollar menu. I'd get 4 or 5 double cheeseburgers, 2 or 3 chicken sandwiches, 2 or 3 large fries. I'd just sit in my bed and just chow down at nighttime. You wouldn't see me eat during the day. I'd sit there and eat all night, and then I'd get some ice cream and Doritos and Frosties and a French fry, you know.
Yeah, it creates bad habits.
But anyways,
the industry does too.
It was so that I called him and I said, all right, let's do it. So we started working out together. I lost 40 pounds in like a matter of a month and a half, just working out and eating a little bit different.
Mostly water weight, probably.
Yeah, a lot of water weight, tons of. I was so inflamed. But a lot of that went down and everything was starting to change. Everything was going good. Well, he got called away during the flood. He actually got called away. He's a safety engineer. He got called down to go to the Gulf because we had that oil spill with BP at the same time. And so he got called away to that. Well, then I was kind of left to my own devices and I went back to what I knew. And I quit losing the weight, quit doing all that stuff. And then I was out with my buddy Michael one night. This is one of the things that made me get back on track to want to do it. I'm out with my buddy Michael, and we get back to the garage where we parked our car, and we had parked on like the 6th floor or something like that. Well, the elevator was out. Now, we had been out clubbing all night, you know, searching for girls or whatever we were doing. And I get back, and the elevator is messed up. And I was like, this beats all I ever seen. I was mad. I was like, I can't believe this. I said, they need to get here and fix this thing better. You know, this is BS. I was mad. And I said, I'm going to have to walk all the way up these stairs. And my buddy Michael looks at me and goes, you know, that's the thing about a guy with no legs. I was like, what? He goes, he'd give anything to walk up those stairs.
Yeah.
He goes, but if you need me to, I guess I'll go get the car and bring it down to you. And I was like, no, we climbing up these damn stairs now. And all I could think about that night was there's people that went to the military to fight for our freedoms that come back without a leg that can't walk up them stairs.
Yeah.
And here I was complaining with a full able body. So I got up at the top of that 5th, 6th, 7th flight, whatever it was, the stairs. I was out of breath. I was mad, but I did it, you know, and that's when I realized, like, okay, you got to change your life. And then the opportunity kind of just started flowing after that.
Yeah. So how was, real quick, my brother, like, obviously my older brother, the one that passed, Keith, he kept me humble in the same way.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't much that I could ever feel good about complaining about when you're around that. You know,
Yeah.
you're just like, maybe I should just keep that one to myself.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I got it pretty good. Like,
I think
let's
it's
be
helped me in
honest.
all aspects of life because you realize, like, your problems aren't really that big. You know,
99% of our problems
I come from the worry about the problem.
are literally in our head, and they're not a problem. The problem's not a problem. Like, overall, we're going to live through it. We're going to keep moving.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it's
I've
not
been
life or
teaching this
death,
to my son
it's
when he
not
don't want
life
to
or
clean
death.
his room. He's like, Dad, it makes it the worst day ever when I got to clean
You're
my
like,
room.
no, you'll know what the worst day ever is. One day you'll figure out what a worst day ever is.
Well, what I told him was, I said, buddy, I said, think about it like this. You've been arguing with me about cleaning your room for 20 minutes now. I was like, your room could have already been done. We could have been outside playing at the pool.
Yeah.
You know, we could have been outside throwing the ball around. We could have been watching your favorite TV show together. We could have been doing anything else, but for 20 minutes, you haven't gone and done what I asked you to do. All you got to do is pick up your little soldier guys, your little toys, put them in their little bins. I said, I have everything in place for you. I said, put your costumes. He loves dressing up in Marvel and DC and all that.
Yeah.
I said, take all your costumes, put them in this big old thing that we got for you. I do too. I would always paint myself green and be the Hulk. But anyways,
I was like, Halloween 365.
Oh, dude, it is. My son, and people will be like, why are you letting your son dress up? It's not even Halloween. I'm like, dude, he ain't going to do this for long.
You're like, his name's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Have you ever never seen Big Daddy?
Johnny Frankenstein. Hey, listen, you think about that. Like,
he picks out.
We try to make him grow up so fast. Like, oh, we got to teach him. That's not.
Dude, I'm 100% with
I'm
you.
I'm like, no, I'm going to let my kid be a kid for a while. You know?
I think you let them make mistakes. You keep them safe the best you can. You let them make mistakes. You let them make choices. And you let them deal with some of those choices before there are real life consequences for it.
Yeah.
Like, again, choosing what you wear. There's this funny, like, Chad Daniels bit in one of his stand-ups where he was like, my wife was gone, and she came out with pink shirt and orange. His daughter was like 7 or whatever, and orange shorts on, and it was like, does this match? And he's like, they're on the same side of the collar wheel. That's all I can tell you. And he's like, I let her. Do you think I let her go to school? That? Yes, I did. Next day, guess what? She's like, not wearing that again. People picked on me. He's like, she learned, and there were no real life consequences. Like, it was just the next day, people forgot about it, but she learned. Yeah.
Yeah, we do so much out of shame and fear and all this stuff that we hide ourselves or we shrink ourselves. And to me, I mean, a long time ago, I decided I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to put out the music I want to put out. I'm going to do the things that I want to do that are going to help, me, my family, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to love everybody. I'm going to give everybody respect like I always have. But I'm not going to sit here and worry about the outcome. What is it? The other comedian, Mitch Hedberg, he goes, I don't not eat an apple because it's going to be a core, So it's like, I think if you spend your whole life worrying about, well, what if this goes bad? Well, it's going to go bad. But what if it goes right? You know what I mean?
Everything has a finite period of time. Like, it's not, everything comes to an end. Like, it doesn't matter. So not pursuing something because you think it could end poorly or in a, end period. I'm like, it's just silly.
Yeah.
Logically. But try to tell your brain that in the moment.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about taking all your money and risking it. Put $500,000 on red and hope that it hits. I'm not talking about taking that kind of risk. I'm talking about calculated risk where you're like,
showing up to the open mic.
Yeah. Dude, that don't cost you nothing.
Yep.
Show up and wait your turn.
Be embarrassed because you mess up some lyrics.
I will get people that
whatever.
call me and say, hey, I want to play your show. And I say, cool. I'll put you down for 7 o'clock. You've never played it before. Put you down for 7 o'clock next Thursday night. No. I want to play it like 8 or 9. That's when the bigger crowd is there.
Well, show up at 7 and we'll see.
Well, what I tell them is, I said, no. I said, the 8 and 9 o'clock rounds is where I put people that have showed up and supported the show. I don't care how many people they bring because I know there's going to be a crowd there. You know what I mean? But what I tell them is, I was like, well, listen, I was like, if you're coming to the show and you're wanting a spot to play, I want you to play. I give everybody a spot. I don't turn down nobody. Every single person that wants to play can come play my show. I don't give this thing, turn in your work tape and let me see if I think it's good enough. I don't do none of that crap.
Are you still doing it?
Oh, yeah. Every Thursday night, Live Oak. Yeah.
Live Oak? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Every Thursday
night.
Where
the old doghouse used to be is where
I just people are like, why
you want to give it a quick promo? Yeah.
Hey, Live Oak, every Thursday night you can come to the overall attraction presented by Nashville Universe and Live Oak. Come by and see us. We're looking for a sponsor.
Hosted by
Big Vinny. Big Vinny's Overall Attractions. We'll see you there.
All right.
Anyways, that whole entire thing, I've never made.
Did you
people
ask
audition.
For a better guest? Like, come on.
Yeah. I've never, ever asked people to audition. I just don't believe in that because, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Whiskey Jam shouldn't. Obviously they've built a big thing. All this.
That is their audition, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to play. You put them on a 7. Yeah. That's their audition.
Yeah, that's their audition. Well, the way I see it is this: I'm like, I'm not paying you.
You gave them the shot.
I'm going to give you a shot. How are you ever going to get better? There's artists right now that are big that if you'd have heard them 10, 15, 20 years ago when I first heard them, you'd be like, nah, ain't no way. Mm-hmm. Me, I mean, I whenever I first signed a record deal, I didn't even know how to come into a song the right way. But I'd have to go,
Yeah, yeah.
Time to start singing. And I'd be like on a
Pickups or like,
on a
yeah,
haystack,
yeah, yeah.
back 3 bells high, flatbed stage in a full moonlight, party on the farm all night long with, and I had to get
Do
up
that
to it.
again. Like for real. Again, that's something that no one talks about, and they think that it's so simple and stuff too. I'm like, it becomes a different game when you get on stage too, and you're using tracks, or you
gotta
have
be right on time,
in-ears, and again, knowing pickups, knowing that exactly when you're coming in while you're trying to entertain a crowd and be like, hey guys, and
Right, and
do the worm,
all of a sudden
and
your ears
like,
go out and you can't hear nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I like when you see somebody that's on an award show. They sounded like crap. I'm like, well, they may not even be able to hear what they were singing.
They probably literally did not hear
Dude, the
themselves
first time I ever
entire
did the national anthem,